announcement.
3 European nations saw major political shifts today. Newly elected Polish President Karol Nawrocki, who narrowly defeated former Warsaw Mayor Rafał Trzaskowski, immediately emphasized strengthening ties with Hungary and regional cooperation within the Visegrad Group. U.S. stock futures edged higher with the S&P 500 pushing past the 6,000 mark in pre-market trading ahead of key trade talks with China.
Investors are focusing on upcoming inflation data, corporate earnings, and Apple's Worldwide Developers Conference.
In California, authorities are investigating an ice debris incident where a chunk crashed through a homeowner's roof.
The FAA has confirmed the debris did not originate from an aircraft, instead likely forming naturally in cold weather conditions.
The opinions expressed on this program are those of the host or guest and should not be interpreted as statement of fact. Independent fact-checking and corrections are encouraged.
Can we get a cup of coffee in here, please?
Damn good coffee and hot.
My dog is your mind's best friend.
I'm big again. I don't want to get big again. I don't
My
want to be
dog
big.
is your mind's best friend.
Wake up, America. You've got a dog that needs walking. That's right, sunshine. Just put on a big pot of strong coffee and get ready to type your little hate mail with your opinions about kumbaya and flat earth insanity. Stand-up comedy? You want stand-up comedy? Well, we've got sit-down comedy. It's time for Coffee with the Dog. You make me laugh.
I make you laugh. Just like that. That's how it's going to be. See, I'm not that big over there. One, two, three, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. You know what? Will that end on its own? Probably not. It'll probably start up again. Good morning, folks. It is...
Wake up, America. You've got a dog that needs walking.
Don't be loop button. You turn it off, you turn it on, you turn it off, you turn it on. Let me just test something before I say good morning to you. I just want to know.
Are you high right now? 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 Are you high right now?
A little too much, obviously. Fucking StreamYard needs to do something better about that button. Make it work. That's what you need to do. Yeah, anyway, grumble. Good morning. It feels like a Tuesday, June 10th, 2025. If ice is falling through your roof, you might have wetbacks in your house. I'm just saying. If you listen to the news, there's somebody complaining about ice. Didn't come from an aircraft, just naturally formed, just a big chunk of ice. And it wasn't those Gestapo freaks out in L.A. World's coming to an end. Listen, it's astonishing that people don't recognize a remake when they've seen it. We've seen this movie before. We know how it ends. And everybody, I saw some lady on Twitcher, that site. And she was asking the FBI to be nice. And like, let's de-escalate the conflict. We've seen this movie before. That's not, don't act like Trump and everybody in the administration don't want this violence. They worked hard to create this violence, this chaos, and the backlash, and so they could use it to declare martial law without even actually declaring martial law. They just send the tanks. We don't have to say, hey, just take over. And listen, if I were Greenland, I'd be a little nervous because the writing, you're out Poland or Czechoslovakia or whatever you are. As soon as we get all of us dissidents and resistors under control, I'm just waiting for them to come for me. As soon as they come for me and get me under control, we're going to take you. And then Canada, you should be shitting a brick too. Mexico, I don't know. I think you'd win. I think Canada would win too. But just know that we're coming there and acting like we have the right to take you over after we get all the resistors like me lined up and ready for execution. See, Stephen has shared this on his Twitcher, Shitster, what is that website? I've used up all the buckets because we're on Kick now. We're doing pretty well on Kick as far as I can tell. I don't want to take Kick out of there, and well, I'm just looking for something I could take out to share this on Steven's Twitter because he actually finally came up with $8 to fucking pay for his stream over there. I feel bad for Steven. I mean, Jesus, he's spending his lunch money to stream this, and I don't have a slot left for him to stream it to. I guess I could take it off of Mind Dog TV, right? Sure. I'm talking on YouTube. I don't know. I just don't know. Anyway, so yeah, we've seen this movie before. I can tell you how it ends. It does not end with any talk, or it doesn't end with, gee, let's just make nice. Let's just stop the riot. Let's just stop protesting. It doesn't stop that way. It doesn't stop with we can lock them all. You're gonna lock up 70 fucking million people because that's how many people are against you. At least that many voted. Now there are more people against you who just probably didn't show up or just too lazy, and you can't count on them to fight. But they're not going to go along. So you got 70 million. You don't have enough prisons for. You better build a bigger concentration camps, folks. I'm just talking to ICE right now. ICE, if you're listening, first of all, don't fall through my roof. And second of all, you're going to need one hell of a big concentration camp. Maybe that's what you're taking over Greenland for. You're going to send us all to Greenland? So here's how it ends. Trump in a bunker. Melania sucking somebody else's dick. And Trump takes cyanide, shoots her, and then shoots himself. That's how it ends. The other guy who's getting his dick sucked by Melania, when she gets shot, she bites his dick off. And that's how, and leaves it open for another remake 40 years or 80 years down the road if the planet's still here. Anyway, speaking of the planet still being here, we're still here. GD and Steven are still here, even after yesterday's debacle. So good for them. I'm going to play a commercial, and then you get to say hello to them and ask them if ice is falling through their roof, right? That's what we'll talk to them about now. I need some ketamine. Oh, by the way, in the second hour today, Dr. Charneil Wolverton will be with us to talk about the science of miracles and all her healing, kumbaya, consciousness, all that kind of crap. Are you ready for that? All that kind of crap? Probably not.
Mind Bloom is helping people achieve life-changing clinical and personal breakthroughs, alchemizing both the psychedelic medication, psychiatric care from psychiatric clinicians, coaches, we call psychedelic guides, and a lot of content and meditations and programs into this really transformational experience that, because it's delivered at home, costs a lot less and is a lot more convenient for people to receive.
Oh, yeah. Speaking of quantum wholeness, Stephen the Quantum Hole is with me. Stephen the Quantum Hole, and also with me. What? You're not quantum, but you're a hole. You're a hole, a hole. And speaking of a-holes, also with us this morning is the fabulous G.D. Fender Benderson. Good morning.
Good morning, America. MindDogTV.com. Let this be a lesson to you.
I'm waiting.
I didn't write it down. I thought I had it memorized. Shit.
The lesson plan. We need the lesson plan.
Give me a second. Oh, I got it. I think I remember now. Good morning, America. MindDogTV.com. Are you a guest on Elizabeth Croydon's podcast? You're not. I am. Suck
I'm
it.
not.
Okay.
I'm actually not. I feel almost like an a-hole or a quantum hole.
So look for me on Elizabeth Croydon's podcast, eCast, coming up on Spotify and places near you. I haven't shot the episode yet, so I could actually die before I do it, and then all this would have been for nothing. MindDogTV.com. Support your local mercenaries and enjoy the suffering.
I got to check. Has she done Elizabeth Croydon? I owe her big time. I don't know what I owe her, but maybe I owe her something. I got to see if she's done for you what she's done for me. On Blue Sky, I have 1,500 followers or something like that.
Wow.
And 1,498 of them are from Elizabeth sending it to me. And I just want to see, has she done that for you, or is she just...
She did give me a bump because I just started Blue Sky, and I think I had like 4 followers, and one of them was the Reverend. And then she put the word out, and like within an hour I was like in the multiple hundreds.
She's got power over there. She's the most powerful person on Blue Sky.
I have not gotten the Queen Elizabeth bump on Blue Sky, but I did want to.
You got a button.
I did want to comment on Box Eating Dad because he messaged me this morning. So yesterday, he's been bugging me on X about giving him John Beaver's information. I think it was for nefarious reasons. So I was like, fucking no, I'm not just giving out somebody's information. I'm not giving you a way to contact him. If you want to contact him, find him yourself, right? And then yesterday I said, hey, you're coming off like an ex-girlfriend. You need to calm down, because he started commenting on my posts. And I was like, listen, you're acting like an ex-girlfriend. If you want to talk to him, go find him. I'm not part of this. Leave me alone.
Steven, yeah, and you're taking this way too personally. And
No. Because he messaged today and he said, "Hey, I'm done with the Beeve Man slant. I actually really like your guys' show, and I like you guys. So the war, even though it was little, is done." Is what he said.
We'll never a war, but it's business, Michael. It's not. You're taking this thought too personally. It's business, Sonny.
Yeah, well, that's why I told him. I said, good. I appreciate you, and that's the last I left it at.
I'm trying to quote Blazing Saddles to you, or the Blazing Godfather, or something.
Speaking of the Blazing Godfather, you realize that one of the Godfathers of funk died. Sylvester Sly Stone died.
He's not just a funk guy. He is a icon in popular music,
yes,
and in civil rights, and you know what?
Yes,
if I know racial tension, racial relations and all that stuff are not what they should be. But for a brief period, Sly Stone was instrumental in bringing Black people and white people together and making them see music is music. You know, there's no Black music, white music. We can all make music together and enjoy it. And Sly Stone was a fucking great person beyond just being a great musician and a real good entertainer.
Let me quote Blazing Saddles. Up yours. And then there's another word after that, but I can't finish that. So
I don't know. I don't
remember. Say nigger. It's after 9 a.m.
I'm not, but I was gonna send in the clowns.
That little old lady. That was such a great line. The lady says, "Good morning, son. Up yours, nigger."
I know. So
Gene Wilder goes, "What did you expect them to say? Come on in. Marry my daughter." That was such a great documentary. I love that documentary.
I would just say Slaptails and John Beavers is in there. For my apologies, says please listen to my latest podcast. Put the link in the chat so it's there. It's more tracks, more.
Well, let me just quote Blazing Saddles again, and just think about how much money we'll save by just not giving a damn.
That was Lepetamain who said that. But it was actually it was Lepetamain. But he was actually referring to spending money on batting balls. Yeah.
See, I just have to address this from Box Eating Dad. He wants to know the dog's favorite pizza place.
Yes.
See, this is a thing that will start wars on the South Shore of Long Island. It's like a half-ass mafia wannabe nonsense. But the town I came from, the town I was uh, adjacent to when I grew up and went to their first schools, they have they take great pride in their pizza. It's like I don't know, they think they invented it or something. And there are two places, Mama's Pizza, Copeg, New York, and Albert's Pizza in Copeg, New York. They're both different style pizzas. Napolitan is at Mama's, Sicilian is at Albert's, and there is like a pizza war. I have to choose between one of those two. I'm going to get whacked. So I'm just going to say I have two favorite pizza places, Mama and Albert's. Because I don't want.
You heard it here first. Matt prefers Mama's Pizza.
No.
You heard it here first.
No. I will say. Wait, you heard it here first that Matt prefers Mama's for Napolitan and Albert's for Sicilian.
You heard it here first. Albert suck.
Albert coined the phrase "slow it down, Napo." That was his thing. For some reason, there would be kids in his pizza place. Albert's is great. You're a man. I think he can't know Albert. He's not from Copenhagen.
He's from Suffolk. He's from Suffolk.
He is?
Yeah.
How do you know that?
Well, I don't know that. He said he was. I just believe that he wasn't lying to me.
Okay. So yeah, now Albert's has changed that, but I knew the original. Here's going back to my childhood. I knew the guy who taught Albert
back when pizza was in black and white.
Right. Well, the sauce was a little, but the guy who taught Albert how to make pizza, I knew him. He lived across the street from me. He had a Dioria's restaurant in the Bronx, and that's where Albert learned to make pizza. Then Albert opened up his place on Oak Street in Copeg, New York, and there was one place, Albert's, and we used to go there, and there would be a lot of kids in there, and somehow I was responsible if all the kids got a little rowdy or out of control, and the Slow It Down Napos would come out, and then everybody, yeah, look, he's buying. But then he franchised out, and there are now like 15 Alberts on Long Island in Suffolk County, but it's not the same as when Albert was alive. There's my friend did a whole history of Albert's Pizza. Well, I say he was my friend. He's no longer my friend. A publisher for South Shore Publications, who happens to be a Trumper who's no longer my friend. But he did this really good history piece on the history of Albert's Pizza. You guys don't even care, do you?
No. I was listening. I was engaged.
All right. Well, come to Suffolk County for the Poopspatuk and stay for the pizza.
I plan on doing that. Yes.
Well,
I can't do it today. Today, I'm a guest on Queen Elizabeth's ECAST podcast.
But that's not going to come out today, right?
I don't know. No, it's not coming out today because we're just shooting it today. And she's doing it in the garage like Mark Maron did.
Yeah. Does she? I guess she's got a nice little studio set up. I know. Yeah, man. No, you don't know.
I'm sorry. I was reading.
Oh, you were reading. Come to Long Island. You got to say hello and
yeah.
Grab some brocconelli at Mount Sinai. He's my neighbor. Dad is a neighbor. Mount Sinai. Just down.
Was this the guy you were supposed to meet at the Ace Hardware?
Ace Hardware. It doesn't ring a bell.
Probably rang your bell.
What do they sell there?
I don't know. I'm from Maryland. I don't even know what they sell in my neighborhood besides Negro Short. I don't know what.
Who cares about where they do Ace Hardware? This is just Mr. Wholesome, Quantum Hole, whatever. Is Elizabeth's video? Is it a video podcast? A live stream?
I didn't ask, but I'm wearing my standard. I'm appearing in public garb, so if if it's a camera, but I'm assuming it's camera because she said she's doing it like Mark Maron, and she's doing it in her garage, which is where Mark Maron did it, and Mark Maron's was video and camera.
Well, I'm doing it in the garage.
When does the fellatio start?
Like Mark Maron? Am I like Mark Maron? This used to be a garage. It's not a garage any longer. And whoa, car coming through.
You have a good day, Mr. Box, and hopefully we'll see you later. We'll talk to you later. I will let y'all know when I'm coming up to New York. So.
Well, that's a whole other. I want to talk to you about coming to New York too, because there's an element here I want to get into. But
with seeds, I need seeds. I have a perfectly good spot for seeds to grow. I do. I'd have a perfectly good spot for seeds to grow.
Well,
and
we
then
saw you could grow pounds in that backyard you got with the little hill over there, and nobody would know. You wouldn't get intruders coming to steal it, or what do they call them? Revenue.
Okay, Matt, you might know the answer to this. Since pot is a weed, will deer eat it, or will I have to fence it in and protect it from the deer?
Deer will eat it, probably.
They will nip at it. They won't eat like the whole plant. They will bite at some leaves, and then they'll say, "You know what? This doesn't taste like good food."
Because I'm just curious, because I started two pawpaw fruit trees, and I have not fenced them, but I've netted them in until they got big enough that they would survive a deer attack.
Yeah.
Because right now they're only like well, it's funny, they've grown a foot in a year. It'll probably maybe in 3 years I'll probably have.
They're ready to dance. Then they've grown a foot.
No, they don't have fruit yet.
No,
I started them from saplings. Well, not saplings, twiglings. They were like a foot tall when I put them in the ground, and now they're like 2 feet high and 2 feet wide. And I've got them in netting so that the deer can't get to them.
Wow. Would you like me to tell you the best way to keep deer off of your plants?
Not grow them.
Get Willie to come over and fight them.
Have him sing outside. He'll scare them all away.
Okay, here's the thing that really pisses me off about trying to be a good trying to be a good deer person. Okay, there are. Like,
I'm not going to accept that. You have to find the word you were looking for. Economic, equitable.
Yeah, well, my backyard backs up to an orchard, hundreds and hundreds of acres of fruit trees and stuff like that.
Wow.
Belonging to some family called the Boggers. Trumpers. I think they're Trumpers. I know they're Trumpers. Let's put it this way. They are so nice to you when they serve you food, but then when election time comes, they have this huge, like 40-foot by 20-foot billboard on their property, like Trump 2020, Trump 2016, Trump 2024. And so I stopped going there. And that was the only place locally that I could go to get pumpkin butter. So I don't even.
What the fuck is pumpkin butter?
Oh, you don't know what pumpkin butter is?
Yeah, what the fuck is that?
You know what a pumpkin is?
Yeah.
You know what butter is?
Yeah.
All right, so shut the fuck up and let him
talk. Hold on, that doesn't make sense to me because fucking butter's a dairy product.
Pumpkin butter. Okay, do you know? Have you heard of apple butter?
Here. You want some Mac butter?
Have you heard of apple butter? Do you know what apple butter is?
Yes. Of course we have. We've all known.
No, Steven's got this perplexed look on his face.
Well, I've had it, but I'm trying to remember the consistency of it.
He was also thinking about the taste of Mac butter because I just brought that
up. No, I don't like cottage cheese, man. Anyway.
Well, so the orchid. I was trying to.
Matt,
they don't want the deer. They don't want the deer eating the stuff in their orchid, in their orchard, right. And so. But we're encroaching upon their habitat. And so part of my yard, I'm trying to grow enough food that the 30 deer that come through, have plenty to eat. And so I tried to grow corn. Now, every place that I didn't plant corn is growing corn from the birds eating the corn from the bird feeder and shitting it out. Now, the row of corn that I tried to grow around my yard, not one leaf popped, not one kernel popped, nothing popped, nothing, fucking nothing.
Let me just say, if you're gonna do the farm report, you got to come on in overalls, all right?
I'm just saying, I'm just disgusted. I'm trying to do the.
You said that wrong. It's disgusting.
I'm disgusting. That doesn't sound right. Are you sure you got the right tense?
I don't know. I don't know anything. Well, I do know one thing, and this will be helpful to you, and this is what I was going to try to tell you. There is a company. I'll look up the name of the company, but I have invested heavily in this over the years. They supply you with powdered fox urine, powdered coyote urine, all these kind of. So I use the fox urine for raccoons. I use the coyote urine for deer, and you put it on the ground around where you don't want them to go. They smell that fucking
What'd you do
coyote
with
urine.
Gwyneth Paltrow urine?
Well, they have now. What are they making that smells like her pussy?
It was a candle.
It was a candle.
No, they've moved beyond the candle with something. I forget what it was. The other day they were selling like something.
Is it sourdough bread based off her yeast?
Something like that. Like,
okay, I have a question.
What?
Now just for the record, I want to put this out there. I have never smelled Gwyneth Paltrow's.
I know. How would you know?
Why? So how would I know if I'm getting the authentic scent?
You know, I'll be honest.
It'd be different if they said we have GD's wife's scent in the candle.
Yeah.
I would know that in a heartbeat.
I'll be honest. What it smelled like, so I obviously, again, I've never smelled Gwyneth Paltrow's vagina either, but it very much just smelled like a vagina fresh out of the shower. Is what it smelled like. Which I don't know why you'd want to burn that and have it like fill your whole room.
I think.
Well, it would help if you're an incel. If you're an incel, then
what does that mean exactly?
Involuntarily celibate. I believe that's what it is.
Yeah, that would make sense. I guess.
If you put some coyote urine on Gwyneth Paltrow, I don't know. She'll smell like coyote urine right out of a shower. I'm not sure that there is a standard vagina smell. I think it depends on a lot of different. There are many different variables that can go into the way your vagina smells.
Yes, diet. Because my first wife was a smoker, but she had told me she quit. But that's how I found out. But how I found out that she hadn't quit, because she just stopped smoking in the house. She was still smoking in public. It was like I would go like, "Hey, baby, your vagina smells like cool cigarettes, menthol."
Right. I knew a girl, not a girl. She was a big fat woman. She picked me up hitchhiking when I was 18 years old. But she was huge, fat. But she was a witch, in her mind anyway. And she blew me, and then she got naked and wanted to. But she actually, just to show off what she could do, she was actually smoking a cigarette with her vagina. I think it was a Pall Mall, but she was
filterless.
Huh?
That means okay, people. Just so you know, Pall Mall cigarettes don't have a filter.
Right.
Black.
Like Matt. Pall Malls are the Matt of cigarettes. No filter.
Right. So she put it down there and like sucked it in and like was blowing like smoke rings with a little twackiness over there. So
does she have twat cancer now? Because there was no filter.
Listen, I only saw her.
IUD help with that?
I saw her twice that night. And then somebody saw her dropping me off home, guy across the street, and then I gave him her number. He got in touch with her.
Yeah.
And this was Lenny Montana, Lenny Montana Jr. I'm putting him at
Hannah Montana's older brother. Hannah Montana's older brother.
Luca Brasi from The Godfather. That was Lenny Montana. His son, Lenny Montana Jr. is who I'm talking about. The guy who played Luca Brasi in The Godfather. His son. And he called her up and told her to come over to his house, and he was just going to meet her. She got there, and he was butt naked with a vibrator in his ass.
Oh my God!
Now this is like 1978 or something.
Now you said he lived across the street from you.
Yeah.
So did she walk across the street, knock at your door, and go, "Matt, what the fuck?"
No, she didn't know. He didn't remember. But then I met her again in a bar like a few months later, and she told me the story about that guy you gave my number to. I went to his house. He was butt naked with a vibrator in his ass. I was like, wow. I didn't know he was going to do. I didn't even know.
Said he still had my vibrator. See that?
So speaking of vagina smells, have you guys seen the video that's been going crazy on TikTok about the lady?
Do you have to ask us? Just tell us about the video. You know we haven't seen.
All right. Well, this lady went in to get a Brazilian wax job done, right? And the lady that was doing the waxing stopped like 2 minutes in and goes, "Ma'am, I can't. The smell coming from between your legs is too much." And the lady takes her phone out trying to make the lady look bad, and she's like, "No, ma'am, I'm telling you, this smell is an infection. I ain't got no infection. I just went to the gym. Ma'am, that's not the smell of a lady that comes from the gym. And it was like I was just watching this video and I was like so embarrassed for her.
Now,
But at
my
the same
question
time,
is,
like there's a big controversy going
who
around.
videotapes their waxings?
No. This was after the lady had gotten off the table and was redressed and was like, "Why did we stop?" And she was finally like,
Okay.
and she was telling her, and then like the internet was like freaking out about like the lady should have just done her job, and the other person and the other people are like, no, she should have been clean before she came in. It's common courtesy, and I'm just here like, this is all fucking really weird to be putting
Yes,
on the internet.
I think the what's the lady that does the waxing? What's she called? The stripper? I think the stripper should know what this, there's a difference between the smell of unclean and infected.
Right,
So
and
I'm
that's
pretty
what she
sure
said.
so I'm pretty sure she knows the difference between, and I think the lady, the waxy should appreciate that, the free medical advice, and go get checked up.
Well, the thing is the lady was being really nice at first, but the customer started being like a dick about it. And so the lady is like, no, listen, I physically can't get near you to do this job. It's bad. Like,
I'm so disappointed. I'm so disappointed in mostly in GD. GD is
Join the club.
Our merchandise czar, and he has not suggested what I'm about to say will be in the Mind Dog merchandise store by next week. Mind Dog's anus scented candle will be available. I have to find a manufacturer who will work with me on scraping my anus for the scent. But
now, first of all, I didn't forget that was going to be a surprise Father's Day gift. Steven and I was working on that for Father's Day for you, because you're kind of like a father to us, how old you are and everything. And that was going to be like our surprise. Thank you, Mr. Impatient Asshole, for ruining it. Now we got to find something else for you.
That's a good name for the candle, though. Impatient Asshole.
Right.
It burns
not
completely.
Inpatient.
Yeah, it smells like a combination of his asshole, a hospital, but then it also burns in like 15 minutes.
See, now you're thinking. Now you're thinking like true merchandisers. Now I'm proud of you again.
Oh, thanks, Dad.
All right. Now there's a video. I'm not going to play this.
Steven, you realize now we got to come up with a different gift for him for Father's Day, right? You can't give him that candle anymore because he knows about it.
I'll send you a message about the dick cheese candle.
I don't know about anything. What are we talking about?
Nothing. You don't just turn off your hearing aids. The children are talking.
There were several videos where Gwyneth Paltrow was explaining the origin of her vagina candle. Now you got to be pretty fucking vain to think the whole world needs to smell my fucking pussy. And I mean, I want to listen to the video.
She did play Pepper Potts. So
it also works for Pete Davidson. Everyone smells his pussy. So.
Everybody can smell that he is a pussy. There's a difference. No, actually, I don't know Pete Davidson. If you're out there listening, I don't know you. And if I called you a pussy by mistake, it was
Pete Davidson is a freak of nature, and he pulls women way outside of his league because he's funny.
I used to,
and rich.
I had a friend of mine who was, I don't want to mention Tommy by name, but I'll tell you what he looked like. He looked like Chris Webber from the Baltimore Wizards back in the day. He looked like Chris Webber. We used to play basketball together, and we were hanging out probably we were hanging out at his house. The team was, and he said to me, he goes, Glenn, because back then nobody called me GD. He goes, Glenn, I don't get it. How do you pull such hot women? He goes, it must be your tongue. It must be your tongue. And it can't be your face. That's it.
I get asked all the time how I pull the women I pull.
And by the hair?
That's it. I pulled them by the hair.
Yeah.
I mean, if they like that,
I pulled them by their Paltrow hair. I grabbed them right by the Paltrow.
Grab them by the Paltrow.
I grab them right by the Paltrow.
That's a t-shirt.
I do want to.
That's what they do when Trump says, "I grab them by the pussy," and they don't want to say pussy. They just say from now on, just say, "Grab them by the Paltrow." From now on,
yeah,
from the Pepper Pots. Grab them right by the Pepper Pots.
Well, first of all, I just want to know how the manufacturing process works. Did they come over with like a team of scent scrapers? Okay, spread them, Gwynthro. That's her name, Gwynthro, right? Spread them, and then they go in and they're like, "Oh, well, how did she produce enough?"
I feel
pussy juice to make to bring back to the factory.
Well, so I don't know if that's the thing is like I don't know if she like went in there, she just like laid there spread eagle, and they're like she was like, all right, smell it, and then they got like a scent profile, then they tried to replicate it, or if they made her wear something that the smell transferred onto. But either way, somebody somewhere had to sniff either her vagina or something that made direct contact with it to make the smell.
Did she get
now in the old days? I mean, in the old days. Yeah, in the old days, there would have been a guy or a person, a guy or a woman who would have been a designated sniffer.
Yeah, somebody whose job it is that.
Right. But they have computers now, so they can duplicate the scents based on the chemical breakdown. I mean, the only reason why I know this is because my father's legitimate job, when he wasn't running numbers, he was a shirt sniffer. He was a dyer. He had the eyes, and he would match dye lots. So all the shirts would be the same color. So if you're mass producing shirts of a certain color, my father's he would eyeball the dye so that they would make the same color shirt every single time.
I'm dying over here.
Yeah, when my father was dying over there.
Oh. I mean,
at least on his WD-40, his WD-40 form.
I would be if we'll get off of Gwyneth's pussy in a little bit, but right now
I've never been on it or in it.
Well,
don't put that out there on me.
Wouldn't you like to though? I mean,
no, my wife could. No, first of all, my wife, honey, I love you. There is no other pussy for me. Your pussy is the only pussy I need for the rest of my life.
He's not wrong.
Day for the rest of my life.
But if he was given a hall pass,
no hall pass. Don't even need a hall pass.
Well, she's kind of getting old now, right? She's got to be in her 50s.
My wife? How dare you talk?
Not your wife.
You motherfucker.
Not your fat wife. Fat. P-H-A-T. This is a Tony Walker script I'm reading by now.
That's a war brewing right
this
there.
Was from the play the other night.
Matt's just trying to show his black credentials.
The other night in the play, my son in the play, Wickety Whack, says to me, "Hey, yo, Pop, where's your fat wife?" And I say, "Excuse me, did you call my wife fat?" No, not fat. F-A-T, P-H-A-T, fat. Like, yo, hot, for shizzle or something.
Yeah, and the thing that we said that back in like the 1970s.
Well, this is Tony
literally in the 1970s. So Tony's got new material from the 70s.
Well, it totally reads. The script reads like a 50-something white dude trying to be like a young black urban.
Okay, I'm just glad that Tony doesn't think he's writing like hip stuff.
Well, to be fair,
Bizzle.
I'm searching in my mind now, trying to recreate Friday Night, and I don't think I remember one black person in the audience, so I think it was pretty safe. As far as
what do you mean safe?
I mean by saying
it means you don't have to you don't have to hold your purse like this while you're eating.
It means with the knives going around for the fake stabbings, we weren't really all that.
Wives were safe.
That's right.
The car. That's because they weren't in the audience. They were in the parking lot stealing the radios.
Stealing your radios and shit.
I left my car unlocked, and this was I did it intentionally, daring it,
hoping somebody would steal it and fix it and bring it back.
No, I was daring the security system that they have there because they got cameras there. I noticed they had cameras everywhere in that parking lot, and I said, you know what? I know I'm in Nassau County, and Nassau County is not safe like Suffolk County. Let's face it. And I said, I'm gonna fucking just see if anybody takes anything out of my car because we got the cameras right there. I'll be able to recover it anyway. I had paintings and shit like that. No, nobody touched my car. Nobody went near it. So there you go. But with the Gwyneth Paltrow thing, last thing on this, for me anyway, I'm just wondering about quality control. Wouldn't you be concerned, like if this was Matt's anus out there, Matzanis candle. I'd want to be sure that they're keeping the quality and not just bootlegging it. And
Well,
I want to quality
I
control.
think they did that it was a limited run candle. Like it wasn't like a mass produced thing. I mean, it was mass produced, but I think they only made like 1,000 of them or something like that.
So you have to go around and sniff all 1,000.
And if they did 1,000 and numbered them, like the Boyd's Bears used to do. Boyd's Bears had editions and they numbered them, so you know what edition you got, where it was on the production line. Then yeah, and somebody. So if you had a candle, if you had a Paltrow pouch candle, and it was like number 1,001, that you got a fake.
Now there's been like a scientific study or some shit like that that declared her the most beautiful woman in the world. Again, she's getting older now, so I mean, in her 50s, she's not like what she was in her 20s or 30s or whatever. But I don't know. Her mother was Blythe Danner, right? Her mother was kind of hot, or I don't know, hot, attractive, but she wasn't.
Right.
She wasn't like a super. She wasn't Catherine Deneuve. Now, Catherine Deneuve, I would Raquel Welch. I would throw her into that like most beautiful woman thing. But
what about Sophia Loren?
Nah, she didn't do it for me. I don't know. Because I know that at some point Sophia Loren was going to get a fucking beauty mark on her face with the hair growing out of it, because she's Italian. She's Italian. I've been there. This is my Aunt Molly. She's got a beauty mark with her hair that reaches me across the room. No, I can't have that. But I just wonder, what is the scientific criteria for establishing somebody?
Actually, that I do know. It's actually the facial. It's I should not. I know parts of it. When it comes to scientifically, they go by face symmetry, because the left side of every face and the right side of every face is a little bit different. And the more similar it is, the more beautiful you are. The more different it is, the less attractive you are. So that's one of the criteria, is the symmetry in the faces.
So why do people like Adam Driver so much?
That's just because he's tall and has his nose is larger than the average nose for his species. So that usually translates to having.
I went to school with the dude, and he was fucking ugly as shit in high school too. And he wasn't really pulling chicks. And then as soon as he showed up on the movie screen, fucking now everyone wants him. And I'm just like,
that's the same with, look at Henry Kissinger. You would think that Henry Kissinger is one of the most unfuckable people on the planet if you knew him. And he was pulling tail like you wouldn't believe, because he was Henry Kissinger.
Plus, Adam Driver was a bad guy, which also helps,
And he was a Navy? Was he like a Navy SEAL or something?
He was a Marine.
Marine. Oh, okay, never mind. I thought he was something tough.
And he's got money, right?
Yeah.
Well, yeah, he was in Star Wars. He was the big bad in Star Wars. He's fucking rolling in it.
That's what the point is. Women are just naturally attracted to money.
Okay.
But even before then, he was in Girls, right? He was like the love.
He had roles before that, but I mean, like, as soon as he hit Hollywood, like even before he really had money, like he was being touted as like this heartthrob, and and all of us in his graduating class were all like, "Fucking why?" Because like even now, like I saw him do a TED talk, and he's standing up there, and he just looks like his face got like someone grabbed it and went like this, and it's just like smushed it all crooked, like a. I
don't understand it, because my wife says the same thing. My wife goes, there was who was it? John Oliver used to always, whenever he saw Adam Driver, he would put up a picture of Adam Driver and goes, "That man could plow my field any day of the week," or something like that. He'd say something. And my wife goes, "I don't get it. I don't see how Adam Driver is sexy. I don't get it. He's not sexy." And
I have breaking news. It's bad news. It's terrible news. I don't even know how to.
We don't have the best viewers on Boost Champs.
Dr. Charniel Wolverton will not be with us today. This is the science of miracles. Apparently, didn't know how to create a miracle for whatever just came up that she had to cancel last minute. She said she will reschedule I can't tell you how heartbroken I am over this. We could have had like a kumbaya second hour. Now we're just going to talk about pussy candles. What?
I'm disappointed because the science of the miracles was like it was kind of right up my alley. That was one of the things we had to we dealt
Bend
with.
over. Let me see your alley again.
Oh no. This is because
well, you
are duck pins, and my alley is straight up 10 pins.
All right. Because I was ready. I was ready for with this miracles.
With this, you was ready. Yeah.
Well, I was gonna give me that candle, baby. No, talk about miracles and well, first of all, miracles. Define a miracle. Define consciousness. All these things you're talking about. Now I'm gonna. If she's watching, well, while she's on her way to her emergency that she's got to, maybe prepare to really explain to me what consciousness is. What does that mean? Because that word gets thrown around and nobody can fucking define it for me. What the fuck does it mean? But miracles, science and miracles miracles are like magic. Science is science. You pick one. You can't go with both.
Holy. Hey, Matt.
Uh-oh. Steven's going to fuck with me now. Ready?
No, I'm just curious. So where on Long Island do you live?
In Shoreham.
How far is that from?
We sent it to you.
No, I know. I know. I didn't want to look it up at the moment. How far from Stony Brook are you?
How far? I would say probably about 10 miles, but driving wise about 90 miles. Because you got to go down, you got to go around, you got to go up, you got to go over, you got to go. It's about, if throwing a rock, it would be a 10-mile throw. But to drive a car, it would be about 190,000 miles.
Okay, well, I think my wife is watching because after I said her pussy's the only pussy I need for the rest of my life, I got a text from her that says, "Out of the blue, I love you." So I think,
fucking gay. Oh, anyway, Box Eating Dad basically lives in that area.
I know. I said he's my neighbor. He's in Mount Sinai. He mentioned Mount Sinai. Sinai. I could throw. He's in Stony Brook.
Well, Matt, here. Well, he sent me a screenshot of his exact location.
Oh.
On X.
All right. Why is he doing this all of a sudden? Did you fuck him?
Trying to be nice, I think. He said you guys were neighbors.
You sucked him off.
I'm not in New York. Ew, stop. Something about a dude licking his mustache is so off-putting.
Wait a minute now. So you're saying if you were in New York, you would have sucked him off?
No.
You just said that. I think that's what I heard.
I did not.
TD, back me up here. Come on, back me up.
Stephen, the way you answered that should have been like, no, I'm not sucking him off. But instead you said, I'm not in New York, which implies that if you were in New York.
All right. Jesus.
I'm just saying, I can understand. And Matt don't agree on anything. Matt and I can't even agree that he has a mustache.
That's true.
So
listen, it's Pride Month. Don't gay shame.
I'm not. No, see, I didn't shame. I did not shame you. I just was merely pointing out that grammatically, what you said with your words or what you implied or what you inferred was that you'd suck his dick if you were in New York.
That's right. And listen, I don't hold that against you. I mean, he probably holds it against you. He holds his balls against your face, but that's a whole other story.
I mean, I have no problems with Mr. BED. I don't. I don't know him, so I can't have a problem with someone I don't know. As long as he's sending out the good vibes and the good vibrations, I'm all with it.
When he says box eating, is that snatch box? Is that what he means, or is it like
pizza?
Because when he said pizza place, that's thinking like he's just going to go there and eat the box, isn't he?
That could be it also. I don't know him, so I don't presume to understand what all these things are.
Yeah.
My nephew and you, Matt, would like really get along. I think, my nephew, I saw him on Sunday. My oldest nephew. Actually, he's my only nephew. I have great nephews, but this one is he works for, I won't mention the company by name, but it rhymes with Horizon, the phone company.
Matt, check your X inbox. I sent it to you on X.
And he keeps telling me you got to use Chat GPT. You got to keep using. You got to use Chat GPT. He's like pushing. It's like he gets a commission for every time somebody uses it. You know.
See, I have Chat GPT enabled. So my iPhone, I'm on their beta program. So I have the new software that's coming out in September, right? It's like the newest iPhone shit. And the Chat GPT is intertwined with Apple AI and Siri. And the Chat GPT, all it does is look up things that Siri can't normally look up. Like, but it doesn't do like sure, you can have it like generate images and shit, but like as far as like using it with Apple Intelligence, it doesn't add a whole lot to it. I don't see what the big deal is.
This is what started the conference. This is what starting him attacking me with the AI shit. There was a gentleman there at this graduation party who has a podcast, and he said to me, we were talking about podcast and stuff, and he goes, "You sound like someone who knows what they're doing." And I'm like, so I said, no. I said, I just have seen some shit go wrong and I have an idea what to not do. And he was telling me that they're having difficulties with their podcast. And I said, well, what do you use? And he goes, we're using StreamYard. And then I was telling him, I said, one of the things I'm not happy with about StreamYard is that I said, one of the things StreamYard I think should do is have folders in the media assets. So if you have multiple shows, you can have the stuff that you want for that show grouped together and not have to search for it. That's what I said. And my nephew goes, you don't need folders, just use AI. And I went, don't make that face. You're stealing my face. I made that face. I made that face first. You stop
no, I thought I caught a whiff of Gwyneth Paltrow's candle.
Oh, okay. No, sorry. So I said to him, I said, that has nothing to do with it. He goes, no, that's all you need is AI. And he goes, you tell it what you want and it groups it together and blah, blah, blah. And I said, on StreamYard? He goes, yeah, just use it on Stream. And so I'm like, I said, look, folders are just fine. And he goes, don't let the world pass you by, Gramps, or something like that. Uncle, don't let the world pass you by. I said, just because something's new doesn't mean it's better or that it works for me. I said, it's not. I said, you act like I've never tried AI. I said, I use AI in my life. I'm just not dependent upon it. I don't, it doesn't serve my purposes.
Well, here's something, because I'm confused. I'm easily confused, like a dog with the ball. Hey, where you go? Carl this morning on Twitter said, if your boss or lawyer isn't calling you back, it's because Chat GTP is down. And that's just like, the ball, where's the ball? I'm like, what? I'm very confused by this sentence. Chat GTP is down, first of all. Is it one thing that lives in one place? Or, because I guess
they could have a master server.
But
right?
Maybe. I thought
it's just like StreamYard. We are using StreamYard, but we don't own the StreamYard. We're using their stuff, and so if StreamYard goes down, we're fucked.
Sure, I get that, but ChatGPT I thought was like a massive farm of computers and stuff where I thought it was like all of Canada, like one part of the Yukon that is melting.
I think it was down for maintenance. But I think his sentiment was that everyone uses ChatGPT to look up the answers for their problems. So if you're not being responded to, it's because the people that don't know what they're talking about don't have their tool to figure out what they're talking about.
Right. But so AI can go down like your girlfriend.
Yeah, AI is still based on a server somewhere. Like it's
this makes you think it's on one server, but
it's on multiple.
So when it's on multiple, that means they all go down. Like half of the Yukon got shut off.
No, but they probably shut down the Chat GPT systems in general for maintenance. Is what they probably did.
I'm not buying it.
It happens with video games.
I think what Matt is saying is like, and if I'm wrong, Matt, don't correct me because you'll make me look stupid.
Nah, you're right.
Is that instead of if there's like, he's thinking that there are multiple hubs for Chat GPT, and why shut them all down at one time, even for maintenance, where you could just shut down, let's say one, and then let the other 4 or 5 hubs take up the slack, and then shut them down in series, and then they're all updated without interruption. That's what I think he's
Redundancy,
saying.
you vagina sniffing
Well,
Amish.
Yes,
fuck.
thank you.
I hear what you're
Redundancy.
saying. I hear what you're saying, but unfortunately, the systems don't always work like that. Like, for example, when Google goes down, all of Google goes down.
Yeah, because redundancy
And-
is expensive. Redundancy cuts into your overhead, and most
Yeah.
people, even though redundancy is probably the best and most efficient way of doing it, most companies won't
Yeah.
do it because of the expense.
Yeah. So, for example,
I've been using Google since 1998, and I don't recall it ever going down.
Oh yeah, it's gone down.
Google's gone down several times. Amazon's gone down several times. I mean, even video games. Like, you'll have a game that's played all over the world, and that one game's servers will go down completely all over the world. Sometimes due to attacks, sometimes just due to system issues. But yeah,
They should be tax. They should be a tax exempt, so that they don't have to.
I just go. Stephen is. I said, "What does Stephen Ortiz know what he's talking about?" Says, "No, Stephen is a ass sniffing, twat sniffing,
Gronk
candle
here.
making."
Stephen is an ass sniffing. No, go ahead. Gronk here.
Right. Amish fat fuck who doesn't know shit about Shinola.
So you're telling me John Beavers doesn't come up with his own insults? He goes to Chat GPT for them?
Right, yeah.
I actually
Wow.
I Googled it, and Google wasn't down at the moment. So
Gronk here. Stephen can't grow his own mustache. Gronk here.
I have a mustache.
Cum doesn't count.
Because Gronk learned most of what he knows about you from John Beavers.
From John.
Yeah.
That's why ChatGPT is so confused. He's like, we see the mustache, but he says it's not there. What do we do?
Cum does not count as a mustache.
No, but it counts as a necklace.
Like a milk mustache, but
it counts as a necklace.
It's a matte mustache. I'm sorry about that. I meant to tell you to wipe it off.
Matt, now I don't want to sound like a snitch, but did I tell you that Steven and Ron don't like your mustache? No, I'm just teasing. I think they're saying you're the only person on the planet who can grow a mustache responsibly
and not look like a pedophile.
I do look like a pedophile. Let's be fair about that.
No, you don't. Look, you are one of the few select guys who has a mustache that doesn't look like you're trying to fuck my mom or my aunt, or like you're a pedophile.
Not look like that. He's explicitly said,
I actually got this mustache for your mom.
That he wanted to do your aunt when he saw her right there. He's like, I want to do your aunt.
You guys say all the prettiest ladies are in Georgia. She's from Georgia. That makes sense.
Have I ever explained? Because I'm sure I explained this to everybody else in the world. I've never explained to you why this mustache is.
You have a mole.
That's right. So it has to hide my mole because
you have a government worker under your face.
Yeah,
a government
chop it off and make guacamole.
I don't know if he's for the government. It could be from like a foreign country or something. But yeah, mole.
That would explain your Italian accent. It's the mole talking for you.
Mole.
So yeah, I would get rid of this mustache in a heartbeat if it wasn't for the mole. The mole is. When I was a little kid, it was just a little pinprick, like a little tiny little.
Yeah, you can't get rid of the mole. Just
it's
shave
like
it off. Just shave it off.
Well, I have cut it and believe me, it's a fucking volcano. When you cut if you're shaving and you just nick it, you're gonna get blood shooting from Nassau to Nassau County from here. So
I have a mole under my arm here that I told my wife. First of all, one of the ways to get rid of a mole is to just tie it off and choke it off, and then it falls off. That's one of the ways you can do it. You can literally just tie a string around it, and in about a few days, it just dies and falls off. And for the most part, it doesn't come back.
Wow. I don't know if I'd rather have a mole or a skin tag.
That would look really weird, though, me walking around with a rope on my face for.
That's why you gotta do it. That's why you gotta do it while you're on vacation. You get black thread. And use black thread so it matches with your mustache. Use black thread, and the part that sticks out, you just cut the black thread so it matches your mustache length. And
if I try this and it backfires and I end up getting lip cancer or something,
you will. Don't listen to him. I tried doing this tag remover. Well, I wasn't trying it. This girl I was dating like several years ago was like, "Hey, you should try this," and I was like, "Sure." So we tried it on a skin tag on my neck, and I got this big chemical burn. That shit was horrible.
Girl, you were dating.
Why would you get
7 years
from tying it?
Several years ago.
Oh, several years ago.
Why would you get it? No, I don't understand. You said you got You got a chemical burn? I thought she was tying it off with like black thread.
She was trying the skin tag remover.
Oh yeah, that it didn't go away.
Terrible.
And it didn't go away. I just got a chemical burn under my skin tag. Yeah.
I got a chemical burn, and then it got infected, and then it healed, and then the skin tag is still fucking there.
Yeah, but I had what I did was I did comparisons. I had 2 skin tags that I tied off with the string. They're gone and they have not come back. And then I had the 2 that I used the chemical stuff, and I got the burns, but both skin tags are still there, and they're both going like, we're not going away. In fact, we're going to get bigger until you can't put your arms down. You're going to have these 2, you'll be like,
you're going to have boobs under your arms.
GD just gave up any claim he ever had to wanting to be a prosecuting attorney by not spotting the obvious lie in Stephen's testimony here, that he had a girlfriend several years ago when we know there was no AI girlfriend available until recently.
But we don't understand. We don't look. I know several people that have sex dolls, the blow-up dolls, and they call them their girlfriends.
All right, that's fair. I guess.
No, she's real.
It's a matter of perception. It's a matter of perception. So I just didn't challenge how he defined girlfriend.
No, she was real. She was fun.
Maybe he meant his hand.
It was a good time.
And it could have been a female pal, not just not girlfriend like I'm dating, but hey, we hang out because I'm impudent.
No, we fucked a lot. No, we fucked a lot. That's really all it was. It was like 6 months of just that.
About each other, not your hands. To each other.
No, it was 6 months of fucking each other, and then we were just like, this is fun, but we didn't have anything else in common, so.
I'd just like to apologize to the world for me ever being born. I'm sorry about that.
It's time for the news.
Okay.
Ellen Edwards in 60 days.
I'll play news because we have no quantum wholeness other than Stephen being a quantum hole. Being here and all that.
That's right. You come to my hole and you get
U.S. stock futures edged higher with the S&P 500 pushing past the 6,000 mark in pre-market trading ahead of key trade talks with China.
Investors are focusing on upcoming inflation data, corporate earnings, and Apple's Worldwide Developers Conference, which may unveil new AI features. Tesla shares dropped about 2% following public tension between Elon Musk and President Trump, coinciding with expectations of Tesla's debut robotaxi launch. Kyle Norris reporting.
3 European nations saw major political shifts today. Newly elected Polish President Karol Nawrocki, who narrowly defeated former Warsaw Mayor Rafał Trzaskowski, immediately emphasized strengthening ties with Hungary and regional cooperation within the Visegrad Group.
In his first interview since taking office, he reaffirmed support for Ukraine's defense, while cautioning against immediate EU membership for Kyiv, citing Poland's own strategic interests. In East Asia, South Korea held snap elections on June 3rd, resulting in a win for Liberal leader Lee Jae-myung with 49.4% of the vote over conservative Kim Moon-soo. Benjamin Wright reporting.
Mass protests continue in Los Angeles following ICE raids and the controversial deployment of the National Guard under federal authority.
Demonstrations that began June 6th have since led to dozens of arrests and multiple injuries amid clashes with law enforcement. Governor Gavin Newsom has filed a lawsuit against the federal government, calling the deployment a breach of state sovereignty, while President Trump defended the move as necessary to maintain public order. Lawrence Keller reporting.
This is the latest news headlines.
A bizarre traffic jam occurred in Virginia when a corn-hauling semi-truck overturned, spilling kernels across the highway.
Motorists reported the roadway resembling a yellow carpet until crews cleared the mess. State Highway Patrol closed the scene temporarily, but traffic resumed within hours. No one was injured, and the truck has been righted and towed for inspection. Liam White reporting.
A mega lottery mishap in Maryland resulted in a player winning $50,000 from the wrong ticket.
The man purchased a different draw than intended, but discovered his unplanned pick held the winning numbers. Lottery officials confirmed the surprising fortune and are working to streamline instructions on ticket purchases. The winner amusement and said he's using the windfall for family expenses. Jessica Oakley reporting.
In California, authorities are investigating an ice debris incident where a chunk crashed through a homeowner's roof.
The FAA has confirmed the debris did not originate from an aircraft, instead likely forming naturally in cold weather conditions. Officials are working to analyze the ice fragment and assess any further risks. While unusual, investigators note such occurrences are rare but not unprecedented during extreme weather. Kevin Sanders reporting.
And that's the latest news headlines with Alan Edwards.
I'm not buying that because Mythbusters showed that with a liquid leak on an airplane at 30,000 feet, if it hits the fuselage while it's leaking, it will form a giant ice chunk and will fall off.
Yeah, that happens. But I'm just picturing the guy on call. Hello, ice came through my roof. And they said, well, you got spicks in there? Get them spicks out of there.
Whoa, Hispanic.
They said,
Am I
first
not
of all,
supposed to say out of there?
Yeah. I think Steven's point is you can't say spick without saying and span. You have to say spick and span.
I'm sorry, I meant wetbacks.
Oh, okay.
No, you can't. That's still bad.
It is?
If it's raining and nobody's wearing a shirt,
you can't call them wetbacks or beaners or border jumpers. They're Mexicans.
Nobody. That's racist.
Illegal immigrants.
That's racist.
What can I call them then?
Illegal immigrants? Well, they're not all illegal immigrants, though. Some of them are legal. So
that's what I'm talking about. They don't.
Wait, are you quoting the Trump administration?
I am quoting everybody on that side.
Oh, okay, that makes
sense. New York, and this is kind of. Yesterday in New York, there was a Chilean woman. She was a little cold. They gave her a sweater, but then she was here on vacation visiting New York City. And ICE assaulted her, took her away with her 13-year-old kid. Not here illegally, not planning on staying. A tourist. You look brown. You look like a spick to me. I'm throwing you in the fucking can. That's what you get with this Trump administration ICE thing. So when it comes to shit, now there are travel advisories for people wanting to visit the United States, and this is why when you talk about shithole countries, hey, we're number one.
We are becoming that, yeah.
Not becoming that. We're number one. You forget the old USA credo. We're number one in everything. This Daniel Tosh thing. We're number one.
So you're not. So yeah. I'm just really happy to have lived to see America become a third world country.
But at least in Russia, when they kidnap someone, they usually have like a really poor excuse, like they're media and they're a spy. And eventually 10, 20, 30 years from now, they'll let them go for money.
Right.
Or for a terrorist or something.
Yeah, but we don't know how to deal with Trump and Stephen Miller and Tom Horman.
How long before they come for me? Because this is definitely, I mean,
I'm coming for you.
Exactly. I talked about this in the opening, but people are acting like we have not seen it. This is a really bad remake of the 1930s. I don't know. You could look it up, watch the original, and see how that ends. But so it starts with them subjugating their own country, and then once they've gotten the immigrants and all the people they think look a little too brown for their liking, then they come for the people who were just spoken out against them, the opposition and all that. So how long before I get a knock on my door and saying, we heard your dopey little fucking podcast, whatever you want to call it, digital broadcast, and you're coming with us, and I don't even get a chance to come back to the mic and say, they're taking me for guys.
I think, honestly, it low-key makes me a little nervous because the jokes we make and everything else, I mean, if somebody gets a bug up their ass and says, hey, they're making threats against the president, we could all three of us could have the Secret Service.
Nobody made a president. Nobody made that threat.
No, but with the references we've made to the unaliving of a certain brown, or not brown, but orange individual, and brown individual, GD. But I'm just saying, somebody could get a bug up their ass. We could have Secret Service or FBI at our door.
Oh yeah, definitely. And I think and this is the thing. It's not just paranoia. If you look at, because we've seen this movie before. If you look at where we are in the script, it's about time when they get the undesirables they're going after now. And people, this whole idea that Trump can't be a Nazi, he's been favorable to Israel. The Nazis didn't hate the Jews. I mean, they hated the Jews, yeah, but it wasn't about them being Jewish. It was about needing a convenient scapegoat. There were Jews that were making money, and they, we're going to blame them. The brown people just became our Jews. I mean, the scapegoatism is a scapegoat. And so it's just the same thing. It's not about the people. It's about who can we make as a scapegoat to introduce fear and get people hating. While we distract them with that, then we can take over. Now, Greenland and Canada and all these people he's made threats against should be thinking, I guess we're Poland, we're Czechoslovakia, we're next.
That's what doesn't like. I don't understand how people aren't seeing the comparisons. Hitler went after the people in his own country. And then he started targeting countries around him. Then he started going after conquering.
Everything is according to the playbook. Whether it's the Madison Square Garden rally, America First, which was a Nazi rally. Let's hold it there, and deny we're Nazis. Everything right there. Project 2025 is exactly a Nazi manifesto playing out in front of people. And they don't see that it's a remake, and they think, we can talk our way out of this. We can tell the FBI to be that. Are you fucking kidding me? There's only one way this ends, and that's with Trump and in the bunker, as I said, and Melania blowing Stephen Miller. Oh God! And then basically the Walter closing.
She could be blowing somebody worse than Stephen Miller.
Well, I don't think there's
Steve Bannon.
That's a tough one. Boy, imagine this is hell. You get there, and the devil says, "You got two choices, Steve Bannon. You got three choices. You can blow Steve Bannon, you can blow Stephen Miller, or Shishkumbaki." And
she'll go Shishkumbaki.
Okay, but first you blow Steve Bannon, and then you blow Steve Miller. Yeah, so I don't know, but people are delusional of thinking that we can somehow.
I think we're going to have to ask Jackie how to actually pronounce it, because I think we've used that term like 5 times, and we have 10 different pronunciations.
The same ever. It just keeps changing.
Jackie, how do you actually pronounce it? He's going to say comatose or something like that.
Something like that.
Because we've used it 5 times and had 10 different pronunciations.
Yeah. Anyway, I do think people are saying, "Oh, you're just being paranoid." I've been saying this for a long time, though. It won't be long before they fucking get to me, and it won't be long before they get to you too. Listen, you think you're desirable? You're a poor fucking trailer park fucking loser white boy. They're coming for you eventually.
Here's a lesson that hopefully you cult members will learn, because those of us who are not cult members already know. There are no such things as permanent friends or permanent enemies when it comes to politics. Only permanent interest. That's it. And so right now the interest is grabbing power, making money. And if you're in the way of that, you become a target. No.
Yeah. It's just yeah, and we're not going to talk your way out of it. You're not going to appease them in any way. They're just going to keep going until those that survive will get to watch America destroyed, as those in Germany watched Germany get destroyed in the 1930s, and all that was left was rubble. And then it took them almost 90 years to kind of rebuild to where they are today.
And if anybody knows anything about the Rubbles, okay, they were never as good as the Flintstones original. The Flintstones had a good run, and then after that, they tried to do the Rubbles, and it just wasn't as good.
Betty Rubble was kind of hot, don't you think?
Yeah, but they couldn't hold their own series without the Flintstones.
I don't know, Wilma with the red hair. I guess I always loved redheads, but I don't know. Betty was, I thought, hotter than Wilma for some. What am I gonna?
I like Mrs. Gruesome.
Did you ever smell their candles? Did they have candles back then?
The Flintstone candles?
Yeah.
Well,
here's the thing when I think about the past and sex. People didn't shower regularly. I mean, even you go back into like the 19th century.
Oh, I've had this conversation recently, and yeah, I could not imagine in like the 1500s,
even the 1900s. Go back to the 18th century. I mean, 19th century, 1800s, like 1890. Let's say Butch Cassidy nailing Sundance's wife there. Yeah, I could smell his dick on her. Right? People.
Well, I think they had toilet water back then. Like the splashy stuff. The cologne, and so they cover stuff up. And also alcohol is a great disinfectant. Maybe they just poured, bootleg stuff right up. Of course,
I just can't see how all these people had like 15 kids and shit.
And after a while, they kind of get used to the smell too. It's like having outhouses.
It's got to be.
It's like having an outhouse, and you don't smell the shit that's out there. You just go out there, you do your business, and your brain knows it stinks, but it keeps telling you it'll be over soon. It'll be over soon.
I feel like people just got used to it, and it just became like a normal thing. Just like walking around, just smelling like BO and shit. Like it's just.
It's like when I was a kid. The first time I went into an old person's house, or it was just old people, and it had a different smell than like a regular house, and I was like, "Why does it smell like this?"
You see that dust storm blowing up from her vagina.
And I just thought all old people had this particular smell that houses with young people didn't have.
They do. That's why old folks' homes are so hard for me to go to, man. Like I'm so sensitive to smell. Say I can't go to a dog pound. I can't go to an animal shelter. I can't go to an old folks' home. Like I can't do any of those.
They don't all smell the same. You realize they don't all smell the same.
But they all have bad smells. Like when you walk in, or like when you get into certain places, and I just can't do it. I'll immediately start retching. And just
well, I want to clarify something. Maybe at tomorrow I'm playing at the senior center in Copiague, New York, in Tanner Park, which is a beautiful senior center, and that does not smell like old people. When I know the difference. I have a very trained nose now for senior center.
Old people.
Yeah.
He has the senior sensor. He has the senior sensor.
Right. Well, nursing homes,
radar,
assisted living, and then senior centers. There's 3 different levels. Senior centers are fine. It just smells like the world. Like
you're not wrong.
But you go to assisted living, then you get a little tinge of age.
Antiseptics.
You go to a nursing home, especially if you go to a nursing home, because they schedule these shows at like 1:30 or 2 p.m. And this is after lunch, just significantly after lunch, so that the diarrhea could have cooked in, and everybody needs a diaper change at once, and it is just overwhelming sometimes.
See, that's the thing. Cause I've been to a senior living center, and you're right, it didn't smell bad. It was during Halloween. It smelled good. Everybody, it was nice. But I've been to like you said, like nursing homes or like assisted living, and yeah, like you can start smelling some spicy diapers, and it's
the
rough,
different levels of it is all I'm saying. And at the senior center, it's not a live-in thing. It's a recreational place. It's fucking great. I said this morning, it's like the high school handball courts with walkers.
The fuck is handball?
Handball? You never played handball? You didn't have handball courts in high school? Handball courts is where everybody went.
Steven would not have played handball because he would have been a distraction in that little room.
Oh yeah, he would have been the handball. But handball courts were the place where the cool kids went to hang out after lunch. The cafeteria, and then you go out to the.
In my school, we all of us kids who smoked and did and smoked weed and chewed tobacco, we all went behind the ROTC building.
We had woods right across the street from the high school, which it was unbelievable. Like people smoked so much weed that weed was falling out, seeds were falling out of their joints and growing naturally in the woods.
I remember the weirdest thing about being down south, as far as like kids like smoking and tobacco and all that, was in my high school, kids would walk around with spitters and chew tobacco.
Wow,
and they wouldn't. Weird. Yeah, and the teachers wouldn't say anything about it. The only rule was your spitter's got to have a lid. We don't want to smell it.
All right. Yep. I never did the whole spitting, chewing tobacco.
I do pouches. I
think I tried it once, and I accidentally swallowed some of the shit, and it was just like
that's why I like these versus tobacco, because they're pouches of nicotine, and you don't have to worry about spitting it out. It's like a mint.
Yeah.
My stepfather used to have a grocery store, and sometimes the overstock would wind up in our basement when especially the smaller stuff that he didn't have like to make room for some of the bigger stuff. And he had this huge like collection of chewing tobacco. And my stepfather didn't chew chewing tobacco. This was all stuff for the store. And I saw it and I asked him if I could try one. And he goes, "You can if you want to, but you're not going to like it." And I'm looking at the can and it says like apple cinnamon flavor, something like that. It's some really delicious flavor. And I'm thinking, I think I might like this one. Look at that, He goes, "No, you're not going to like it." I said, but Gil, this is like apple cinnamon. He's like, "You're not going to like it." I was like, okay. I tried it. I was like, oh.
Yeah.
You know what sticks with me about chewing tobacco growing up was my dad was a real heavy tobacco chewer, and this motherfucker would take like half empty like Coke bottles and shit, and he'd spit his tobacco in there, and you couldn't fucking see it, unless you were
like Coke. No.
Yeah. So yeah, because if you were like not just paying attention, you didn't notice like the little particulates and shit. And at least 6 or 7 times growing up, I picked up a bottle or a cup that he was spitting in, thinking it was Coke, and took a swig. The worst, though, every one of those moments sticks in my brain rent free forever because of the amount of vomit.
It's already sticking in my brain. Stop.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You just fucking infected everybody else with your
Dude,
fucking.
It's so bad. I puke every time it happened. I puke for like 15 minutes.
Stop it. I'm trying to shake the image from my head already. I'm just trying because
this will help
Thanks,
cleanse
Dad.
that. Just think of my ass candle, my anus scented candle. Just think of that for a second, and it will clean that.
It smells like sweaty asshole. I'm good.
All right.
There you go.
Okay. Smell my Pez dispenser.
Oh my god. Oh, your real Pez dispenser. I thought you were talking about your dick.
Yeah, my Doctor Strange Pez dispenser.
Have you guys spoken to Ron since his big Connecticut thing? His big Connecticut thing.
He sent me.
He posted something.
He sent me a picture of this. He sent me this trophy, which was hard to see here. Hold on.
It looks like a middle finger. No, what is it? What?
It's for the
it's the Infinity Shocker.
Shocker? No, it's the Infinity Glove, right?
Yeah, but two of the pink ones.
Why is one of the fingers down?
Because this is the Shocker. 2 in the pink, 1 in the stink.
Oh, okay, gotcha. Yeah. He sent you that?
No.
I was gonna say because
felt like something he would do.
I was because I thought that he and I were friends, and he didn't. Well, he would know not to send me that. So never mind. We may still be friends.
I think we've discussed this before. I don't thought Ron was. I go back. Is he your friend or is he not your friend? I'm not sure where we stand with this. You say I thought he was.
I was talking to Tom Myers last night. I mentioned the fact that you seemed like surprised that Tom and I were still friends because you had seen somewhere that he and I had a falling out.
Right, in the chat. I was questioning the chatter in Blind Mike who said that even Tom Myers is turning against you or something, and I was like, I was just questioning whether that was true or not, and you straightened me out on that. But okay.
Yeah, so Tom Myers and I was talking about that last night. So I don't know. I said he saw something in the chat, something I was totally unaware of.
Oh.
So we talked. Well,
I can tell you what he said. He said.
Not quite. We talked about his interview with Adam Bush.
I
was telling him, I thought Adam Bush and I know this is one thing and it occurred to me a little bit later, not in real time. Well, I noticed it in real time, but I didn't quite make the thing that may have been deliberate because I thought that Adam and Vinny and Chris were being like respectful to Tom. But I think when they wanted to be disrespectful, they would just go to the chat room and find one of their disrespectful comments that may reflect their other belief, and then put it out there. Mm-hmm. So they can say, "Well, it's not us; it's the chat room asking us."
Yeah. Sons of bitches.
I don't know that that was their intention, but it could be interpreted that way. I don't know.
I'm a little broken hearted. I gotta tell you, I'm a little broken hearted. I thought me and Blind Mike were gonna become pals, chums, but he used me for a one nighter, and And now he just cast me aside like some sort of G.D. Fenderson. Well, he's not true because
a lot of that comes.
Yeah.
What's in the box?
爸爸，惩罚我。
Fucking liars!
So yeah. Somebody tagged me in something that has to do with the Rockin' 45s. I hate that. I am not with that fucking Nazi band anymore. Don't tag me in that shit. Thank you very much.
Oh, okay. But how are they going to learn the goose step without you teaching them that dance step? Did they have choreographed goose steps that they do while they're playing music?
Was
there any choreography, or were y'all just musicians? Like, did y'all do like the box four or four box or four square?
No, there was no choreography. Mikey thinks he's a dancer, but he's just a fat doofus.
Speaking of fat doofuses, when I was growing up, there was a game called Skittle, and it was like hopscotch meets marbles, and you had these little round tops, like the tops of drinks, and you would shoot them like you would marbles, but you're aiming at numbered squares like you would for hopscotch. Did you play that as a kid, Matt?
Fuck no.
Okay, I wanted to build one of those things, not build, but draw one in my driveway. My wife said I could, and I bought the chalk and everything, but I never did it. And I wanted to shoot a video of me playing it and having people tell me what they called that game if they played that game, because
hopscotch.
Well, no, it's not hopscotch, but it's you know how sometimes when you grow up just hearing things, you never see it in print. You don't actually, and different people have different ways of pronouncing it, so you don't really know the right way to say it.
Yep.
And this is what it's
like Nevada.
What? Like what? Like
Nevada.
What? Nevada.
Nevada.
Yeah, that's not
like the game Skittle. We grew up calling it Skittle, but then some kids called it Skettle.
Well, it's all hopscotch, even though it wasn't hopscotch. It was all hopscotch. If there was chalk marks on a sidewalk or a driveway or whatever, it's hopscotch. I don't care what you call it. It's hopscotch. It's chalk. You see that chalk? That makes it hopscotch. People hopping. You see anybody hopping in?
Are any of them Scottish?
Steven just hopped. Did you see Steven hop? We just saw Steven hop. So tomorrow, this guy Jason Spatham is gonna be here. We're just hooked into this kumbaya world. He's it's a religion thing. It's spirituality, truth, mind, left brain, objectivity, stoicism, materialism, scientism, atheism, deism, Islam, Judaism. I don't see any Christianity in there. It's these kind of Buddhism, Hinduism. He's got almost everything listed except Christianity here. What
does he also list?
Welcome to Minucci's.
No. So he'll be here tomorrow, and mere spirituality. Joshua Spatha. Spiritual. What the fuck does spirituality mean? What does it mean?
I don't know. You keep bringing them on, and nobody seems to have an actual answer for what it means.
No, and this has been 40 years of doing this. So if you're in the same, this is what when you get kumbaya imbeciles like Mike Zinn, I've been doing this a long time, dude. I have not gotten a straight answer from any of these fucked up magical thinking people. Can't produce magic for 40 years. You just keep saying, show me some fucking evidence of your little magic. Well, you have to believe. It's like Nancy Pelosi. We got to pass the bill to see what's in the bill. You got to believe in order to see the magic. No, I got to see the magic in order to believe.
I have one family member that I have requested to talk to for every psychic that we've had on. And because this family member, we don't share a last name. We're related. I think we're second cousins, but we were close. And so I wasn't listening to his obituary or anything. So it's one of those people who's died in my family who I feel like if a psychic would connect, I would be a little more convinced because there's no way to connect us on paper outside of like a DNA test. So that's one of those things where it's just never happened. Like whether it's been on the show or in private, like every time I've talked to a psychic, it's never happened.
So it's Cloris Leachman you're trying to connect to.
No.
I know it is.
Who?
Cloris Leachman.
Really? You don't know who that is?
Brown. It's a Blazing Saddles reference. Well, close to a Blazing Saddles reference. Frau Bruca, and the horse wines. Why don't we have a horse whiny?
We probably did have one. Ron probably used it for something else, like speak American.
That wasn't bad, Stephen, as far as a Bruca goes. So yeah, I don't know. I'm just getting worn out after 40 years of this. I'm getting worn out by all these paranormal, psychic, spirituality.
You know, I wonder if we would get some viewers, some more viewers, if we put out like a cash reward, looking for somebody with real abilities to come on and prove it.
I've had lots of people give me doing readings for the audience and doing readings for me and all this and making predictions very early on in the podcasting thing for me. I had some woman told me that within a year I was going to be like world famous and rich and all this stuff. Things were about apparently that's a long year. It's been 7-8 years now since she made that prediction.
The last time the one prediction that I ever heard from a psychic was one my mom got, which she was told that medicine would miraculously heal my condition by the time I was 12 years old.
You didn't have a condition. Your back was broken.
Right.
That's not a condition.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. They're all fucking full of shit.
Wow.
Prove me wrong.
You know, here's something I should have. I feel bad now because you were on the show with the Reverend. I should have had the Reverend do a healing service for you and heal your back.
I mean, I'm down to do one at some point.
I'll talk to the Reverend because he used to do healing services back in the day.
It would have been nice if Dr. Sharniel would have come on here and healed Stephen.
I know.
With a miracle of science. And then he'd get up. And then maybe you don't want to rush into this. Just saying, because then the disability is.
I don't know, man. I'm kind of to the point in life now where I don't even know if I'd want to walk.
Why?
Because then you had to do yard work like I had to.
Yeah, fuck that.
If I was in a wheelchair, my wife wouldn't. My wife did something that she mocked me. Okay?
I didn't make her do it. It was her idea.
My wife mocked me in public in front of my family. Okay. Some of you are aware that I have a 65-foot tree that fell in my yard, and I've been cutting it up with a 14-inch battery operated chainsaw.
Supposedly.
Yeah. And it's rained a lot. It's rained a lot since then. I mean, it went through like 14 days in a row of rain and stuff. And I do not stand out in the rain because I've been struck by lightning. It's been taking a while to cut this up. And I was telling my nephew about it, and he starts laughing. And my wife goes, "He's been cutting it up for a month."
Right.
Yes, I have been. But I've been out there every day for a month. We had like 11 days in a row of rain. I
thought it was 14. Your story's changing already. See,
I'm just saying like in a row.
Like a Tony Walker script.
15 days of rain, and it was like in a row. No, it's not changing. It's like I said. I'm probably said like we can go. I'll tell you what I'll do. I'll go back and just pull up the fucking weather report for Westminster, Maryland for the past 2 months, and you can see how much fucking rain we've had.
You know what? I'm interested in the weather report for Washington D.C. for Saturday. Now here it's a 70% chance of rain. I'm hoping like it rains hard in D.C. on Saturday, and I would hope for like a nor'easter, an earthquake, an asteroid. Maybe North Korea might consider sending a nuclear bomb to Washington D.C. That startled me a little bit. I thought maybe they actually did.
Actually, they weren't scheduled protests before. I mean, these things were scheduled long before Trump's so-called parade. It was because it's like I think there was a parade of Day of Peace or something. I think the 14th was like there were demonstrations all over the country for a day of peace on the 14th, and Trump has his thing going. So there's like almost 1,000 different protests all around the country, except for in DC. They're asking for there not to be any protests in DC because they don't want Trump to use that as an excuse, to do something stupid.
Yeah, listen, when it comes to something stupid, he never needs an excuse. But
I'm just saying, yeah, but
coming back to the not coincidences, the actual just lining up equivalencies here. Hitler with the 50th birthday military parade on his birthday. June 14th is Trump's birthday, and he's having this big military parade. Hello. This gives me
he tried to do that in his first term. And the responsible adults near the room, I'm not going to say they were in the room, but they were near the room, stopped them from doing it.
Right.
They're saying how impractical it was. The streets aren't designed for that. It will tear up the fucking streets, blah, blah, blah. And now Trump is like, well, make it happen. They're like, okay, we'll tear up the fucking streets.
It gives me pause to consider possibility of reincarnation. I know people, you sound like a Fruit Loop now. Listen, I sound like a Fruit Loop most of the time. But I do, this Hitler energy, Trump was born 14 months after Hitler supposedly died in the bunker. That's enough time for the spirit to find a new opportunity to say, yeah, I'm coming back. I feel like he is Hitler reincarnated. I really do. Yesterday, I watched Kyle Kalinske do a breakdown of what he considers proof that Trump is in the Epstein files. Like, we already knew Trump was in the Epstein files. He was on the Epstein plane, the Lolita Express, 7 times that we know about, that are documented even before the Epstein files were even talked about. So there's no doubt that he's in it. But Kyle Kalinske was going through all these fucking mechanisms of why Trump is absolutely in them. He's absolutely a pedophile and rapist and all this stuff. And a lot of this stuff equates to the fucking kink with Hitler. Like, this guy's got the same spirit. There were things he was bringing up that I was unaware of, where Trump used to, according to Kyle Kalinske, now I haven't seen this, but this is what I was hearing him say last night, that before Trump was ever in politics and all, just when he was just like a New York businessman playboy, he would call up his friends, he would be taping their phone call, get them to say shit about them cheating on their wives and stuff, and then he would record that and play it back for him and say, look, I got you on tape now, I'm going to play this for your wife, and I'm sure she's not going to like it. You know what will buy me not playing it for your wife? Let me fuck your wife. Like, blackmail his friends. Let me fuck your wife. This is the kind of evil fuck this guy is. I mean, you don't get much lower than that. I'm gonna goat you into saying shit that will make you look bad in front of your wife and threaten you with playing the tape in front of her, unless you let me fuck her.
And see, now the funny thing is, had I been in that situation, I would have said, okay, fine. And then tell him to come on over. And when he comes over, I'd say he was an intruder. He tried to rape my wife and I shoot him. He was trying to rape my wife. I shot him.
Yeah. Oh boy, I wish I had a time machine. I would definitely go back and prevent that. This whole Trump nonsense. I would have prevented it. Now, there's no way I could prove that I was doing it for good reasons. People would say, "Hey, he's just
That's why you say he was trying to rape my wife. He's in my house trying to rape my wife. I shot him. You'd get off, especially if you're a white guy. If you're a black guy, you maybe not. Yeah. So maybe I couldn't do it, but maybe one of my white friends could.
It made me rethink. Hearing that made me rethink this whole Chuck Jones thing. Remember Chuck Jones? Marla Maples publicist.
He produced the cartoons for Bugs Bunny.
No, not that one. Chuck Jones was a publicist for Marla Maples, and Trump sued him. He was in court, and they presented him with Marla Maples pantyhose tied in a knot. Do you recognize these? On the stand in front of a whole courtroom? Do you recognize these? Oh, well, we have you on videotape, but going to the desk drawer and sniffing them. Fucking weird. but Trump set this guy up and like knowing like because he was the guy who hooked him up as the publicist for his wife, knowing in advance that this guy was a creepo, told him where to go and all this stuff, and then put surveillance cameras to catch him doing it in the act so that he could blackmail him with that shit. This is the kind of guy he was. I mean, and this is going back to like the late 80s, early 90s. This is how fucking devious this guy's mind was. Getting a little more pussy. Really like the lowest stuff. So I definitely think he's got really evil. Yeah, I don't want to get into this whole spirituality thing because I don't know anything about spirit, but he's got any evil essence to him. He's pure evil. I mean, to blackmail your friends into letting me fuck your wife. Now, how does a guy even do that? Go to his wife and say, listen, I want you to fuck Donald Trump. Why? Because I'm a cuck. I don't know. Why? How do you even make that?
I don't know how that conversation would go.
I don't think you have. I think what you do. Okay. If I don't think you have that conversation with your wife, what you do is you would just say to Trump, have at it. In other words, you back off. You don't make the connection so that Trump would like hit on her, woo her, or whatever, and you just don't try to stop it. You just let him see, you know.
Or what happens is you, let's say you have a lot of money, your wife really likes the money, and you go to her and say, hey, listen, I fucked up. He's got this video. You got to fuck him.
No, because then you got a video of what, honey?
And then you tell her, be like, look, I'm going to tell you.
In that case, no. But the reason why the blackmail works is because you don't want her to know. If you come out and tell her, then you don't have to have the video.
Okay, maybe but maybe she already knows he's fucked up, and he just doesn't want the world to know. You don't marry somebody like that and not realize how fucked up they are.
Well, yeah, and also, but the fact that you could, if you take GD's strategy, you're just going to leave them alone together, and he's going to seduce her somehow. Then you have to know you're already married to a woman who could be
exactly. That's the thing, because like if your woman is really your woman,
I'm saying, you don't know that she's doing. What I'm saying is, in other words, nature takes its course. If she says no, she says no. If she says no, she says no. Plain and period. You know, you just don't try to stop it. That's what I'm saying. It's.
Gotcha. But then after that happens, okay, let's we're going to run with this scenario. You can back off, Stephen. But okay, so you let Trump come over. He tries, he fails. Then she tells you about this, right?
Right.
Now, do you remain friends with Trump? Like, what does she think of
you? No,
you
play the tape because you set up your camera. You play the tape and say, Trump was trying to fuck my wife. Right. That's why I like my version better. My version was that you tell him to come on over. He goes in, tries to grab your wife while she's in bed. You say it's okay, she's waiting for you, and then you shoot him because you say he was trying to rape your wife. That's it, plain and simple. Forget all the other scenarios.
I gotta say, GD's plan is pretty good.
Yes, of course it's pretty good because that's what I would do. That's why it's a good plan.
But I appreciate that, but you're not the personality we're talking about here. We're talking about guys who suck Donald Trump's dick, not literally, maybe sometimes literally, but figuratively, they already sucking his dick just for his money, to be around him. They're not really friends with this guy. They don't really like him.
So shoot him.
Oh, it's the shooting part. I'm definitely
that's what I'm saying. You have your wife is in bed. She sleeps. She has no idea what's going on. She doesn't even have to know. Because if there's some things that the wife can testify against you in court because of marital. There's some cases where marital privilege does not apply. So you don't tell her anything. You leave her out of it totally. You just let her sleep, and you say to Trump, "Come on over. She's in bed. She's waiting. Blah blah blah." And you sit with your gun. And she starts screaming. You run in, you bastard. And then they go, you bastard, you killed Kenny. He said, no, it wasn't Kenny, it was Trump. And they go like, oh, never mind.
I smell like the Green Mile here. Is that the Green Mile? Is the one? Shawshank Redemption is the one I'm thinking about, where the guy walks in. But it was kind of a setup, right? And then he went to jail for killing his wife and the lover. But it was all kind of Andy Dufresne. I don't know. Maybe I'm just.
I think that's the plot of Blazing Saddles. I think you got the movies mixed up.
Possibly. Possibly. But
you know, somewhere out there's one person who's never seen Blazing Saddles, and they're going, "That's some convoluted movie."
That's fucking one hell of a script there. That's not a Tony Walker script. Listen,
that movie must be 9 hours long. There's like 22 subplots.
Well, I watched the movie, then I watched a behind the scenes thing, and like that movie's fantastic. It's
I sent one of y'all like a oh Matt, I sent you a link to something on YouTube about 10 or 11 forgotten bands.
You sent me that.
I sent you?
Yeah, you sent me that, and then that sent me down the rabbit hole. So then I watched the movie, then I watched a behind the scenes thing.
Oh, I thought I sent Matt a thing about bands.
I got it.
Bands from the 60s.
When I got it, it opened up like some short that I knew you weren't linking to. I forget what it was, but it was like, this isn't what I'm supposed to be
This is
seeing.
fucked up. And, you know, all I'm doing, I'm watching a video and it says share. I copied the link and I put it in. And so you're telling me that even though I'm watching a movie, watching a link, and I hit share, it's not sharing the thing that I am asking it to share?
I got it right here.
Where is it? Yeah.
You sent it to me at 11:42 p.m. on Saturday.
That's the Blazing Saddle ones?
Yep. 1974, 20 weird facts you didn't know.
Okay, yeah, I remember sending you that, but I thought I sent Matt.
The thing that said gatekeepers? It says gatekeepers right before it?
I think so.
It takes me to a whole Kevin Hart and Tyler Perry.
Okay, that's a different thing that I sent.
Wow, that's so weird. That's weird.
Different.
So yeah, I did see something about.
Yeah, because that one I think was somebody was talking about Monique. I think Monique was talking about her relationship with Kevin Hart and how he fucked her over.
Well, it's better than fucked under.
True.
Yeah, but if you Monique and you just want to get fucked, not over or under, you know, you want to win. You know, you don't want the over under.
So now, before we go to, because I'll forget like 10 seconds from now, over under racing, the Belmont Stakes happened on Saturday. I didn't even hear anything about this. This is anything like there's no Triple Crown winner or anything this year. I didn't hear no coverage of it at all.
I did see some coverage of it. I remember people were showing their hats and shit like that. Let me see. Let me see. I'll type in Belmont Stakes 2025 and see what it says. Grand Care.
Go fuck yourself. Oh, that was not a bad Grok thing. I know. I'm
Rock here. Go fuck yourself.
Grok.
Okay, who won the Belmont Stakes 2025?
I did.
He didn't win the Triple Crown, but Sovereignty reigns as the supreme racehorse of 2025.
So Sovereignty won the Kentucky Derby and the Belmont Stakes, but not the Preakness, I guess, because that
because he was held out on the Preakness. He didn't run in the Preakness.
Well, that's stupid.
I know.
All right. This whole fucking normalcy. We're having races. We're doing baseball. We're doing basketball. We're doing in the middle of a country that is really getting ready for its own Tiananmen Square moment, where a guy has to walk out in front of a tank and say, "Go ahead, kill me" on television here. It's bizarre how we're normalizing this fucking nonsense that's going on in America right now. And
I think people are having trouble processing. It's because we're going through something that's really fucking weird, and it can turn out really fucking bad. And we're at the point where, in order to stop it, we have to do some very uncharacteristically. We have to do shit that we're not used to doing as individuals. You know, it's like I don't want to have to do that. You know, this is at the point where if we want to stop Trump, we have to get our hands dirty in ways that we don't like. We don't want to get our hands dirty, you know?
Yeah, absolutely. We
and
want to lay on the couch and let somebody else do it.
Right, and that's what they're counting on. I mean, that's what the Reverend says. Everybody can do something. Find out what it is that you can do and do it. You know, and I agree with the Reverend's sentiment because, like, there's some things I know how to do, but it's not in my heart to do it.
Well, I don't know if there's much call for a guy circumcising 50-year-old men. Because that's what you do well, right? This is what you do.
No, I don't circumcise 50-year-old men. I hold the catalog so they can pick the way they want the finished product to look. I illustrated the catalog.
Oh. I stand corrected. Well, I sit corrected. I snip corrected. But so I thought that's what you did well. I thought that's what you did well. I'm wrong. I'm wrong again.
No, I just illustrated a catalog.
Now,
Did we
this
say hello?
I just because on this subject of people who aren't willing to do anything, the Democratic Party, people are hoping that this fucking Democratic Party is going to do something to grow a pair of balls and maybe stand up. Forget that. Abandon that fucking party.
Right.
That party is as useless as fucking tits on a bull.
Well, I don't quite agree with that assessment. I don't say abandon that party. If you're in that Democratic Party and you believe, I'm opposed. Let me say I'm opposed to having parties. Period. Okay, and if it was up to me, they'd all be abolished. But
that's what I call schlong division.
Having said that, if you are a member of the Democratic Party, then shape them into what you need them to be.
But
also, the politicians by definition are not going to lead you. Okay, they're going to ride the waves. You know, they're going to do what's popular. They want to get reelected, so they're not going to, you know, they're going to stick their neck out as far as it's convenient to help them win the next election.
I don't think so. I think, well, I hear what you're saying, and I agree on the sense that they're followers rather than leaders, but they are just such wishy-washy wimps and afraid.
That's because they don't know what, how should I put it? They want to follow the current, and some of them are having trouble reading the current. And so what the Democratic Party needs to do is to recognize there's like 7 currents or 8 currents or whatever it is, and then get together and say, okay, you guys, you ride this current, we'll ride this current, and we'll do it all as we'll all ride these currents separately, but we'll work together as we do it. You know, that's what so you say to the Democratic Party, it's like you have an army, it's okay, you guys flank to the left, you guys flank to the right, you guys go to the middle, you guys do an aerial attack, but it's all the same army, you're just attacking from different angles for the same goal, and that's to take out the enemy. That's what they need to do. And stop thinking, and people need to stop thinking that the Democrats can be all things to everyone at once. They can't.
They can't. They can't. You're absolutely right. But as our chief political analyst here, or analyst, as I prefer to call you, an analyst, because my
natural ain't no bleaching here. It's all natural.
How long before it happened? I think it's going to happen. If you disagree that it's going to happen, let me know. But I think Trump or Holman, whoever, are going to send people for Gavin Newsom. How does that play out? Like they go to arrest the governor of California. Do you think, first of all, do you think it's going to happen? And if it does happen, how does that fucking play out?
Okay, if it does happen, it's going to happen under Gavin Newsom's terms. I think Gavin Newsom is a pretty smart political animal, and he has designs to be president. So I think that if he's arrested, it's going to be because he sets up a situation where Trump almost has no choice but to arrest him or look like a pussy. Right. And in that regard, Newsom will have like, okay, you had done what I wanted you to do. I've been arrested. And then Newsom will have like hellfire rain down upon Trump, politically speaking and legally speaking.
Does it become like does California, like I know there are states have control of some National Guard stuff, but it's still a federally controlled National Guard.
Conditions. There are certain conditions that have to, which is why Trump keeps saying these things like we're under attack, there's an invasion, because those things give him power, gives him the authority to do those things. And that's the problem he's having in courts, because he's saying we're under attack, that these Hispanic people are part of MS-13, and MS-13 is controlled by the president of Venezuela. And so Venezuela is using these people to attack us. We're being invaded. And the intelligence doesn't support that, but that was his convoluted thinking. And it's the same thing in California. Trump is trying to say that these protesters are an invasion, and that they're attacking the government, and he has to defend the government, which is why he sent a National Guard to protect 2 federal buildings, because that would like give some kind of like jurisdiction or fake jurisdiction, the appearance of jurisdiction. So And so far, Trump has not done anything, or Trump technically and legally has not done any or found any real grounds to put the National Guard there and keep them there.
Right.
I mean, he can send them, but he can't keep them there because he has not, none of the conditions legally and factually exist for them to maintain this. So right now, Gavin Newsom is taking them to court.
But Newsom, they called for Newsom's arrest, and he said, "Come get me." That sounds like, because I'm wondering if there's going to be a conflict now. Like, going to send feds in, and it's going to be like California state police against how will that play out?
So, right now, when they're saying they're going to place him under arrest or want to play, that's just bluster. Okay, that's for the media. That's just they know they have no grounds to arrest him. Okay, they're playing. I don't even want to say chicken. They're playing. Is there a game that you can play with propaganda just to get people to talk about shit? Whatever that game is, that's what they're playing. And that's why Gavin Newsom is saying, "Come and get me." He wants that. Newsom wants to be president. Okay, this will put such a fucking feather in his cap. You could almost not have the election. You know, if they did that stupid shit, they might as well just say, "Fuck it, we've given Newsom the election."
I'm wondering if he has a real. Well, I don't even know how elections will play out in the next presidential. I'm not even sure the midterms will play out. I just think martial law is going to be. Listen, we're already at the place where we have a pseudo martial law that hasn't been declared yet. But so whether they even thinking like Hitler, canceling all elections. Elections have been canceled. Fuck the Constitution. I don't know how it's going to, but I think Newsom, I'm not like a big fan of his and California, but I don't know who else the Democrats would even possibly run. AOC is just another woman of color, and we've seen how America can't put aside its bias against women.
She's not ready. She can't be a presidential candidate. She can't be. I mean, I'm not talking about legally. I mean, as far as what she has to offer, you know, you could put her in the cabinet. You could, but she cannot be the president candidate. We need, if the Democrats are going to win the election, they're going to have to get a governor to run, or someone who has actual real legislative accomplishments.
I hate to say this, but it has to be a white man. It has to be a white man because we've seen how fucking people will vote for Hitler over a black woman, even though Hitler is promising to do to them what he's doing to them right now. People who are being victimized by this guy voted for him because they just couldn't vote for him.
This has been my strategy, my political strategy for a long time. I mean, when I was, like I said, back when in 96, when I thought I was going to run for president in 2008. In 96, I wanted to run for president in 2008. Honestly, I was working on a long-term plan that in 2008 I was going to run for president. And I was setting up.
Found out you got more people at Governor's Giggle Room than would vote for you.
Probably.
That hurts in a way that you would not ever understand. But
I don't know. I was there. I was there for it, GD. It hurt me.
Yeah, I know you were there. I'm saying
his campaign strategy would have been the same: go to the store across the street and hand out flyers.
Hey, I don't know. When I ran for office, I had 11,000 votes. So
that wasn't my strategy. But that wasn't my strategy at all. It actually involved the internet back then.
Wow.
But yeah.
Wait, Stephen just said he had 11,000 votes.
I had 7% of the vote.
I'm finding this thing a little incredulous. For what dog catcher you were running for? What?
No, county commissioner.
County commissioner. And so what 11,000 is only 7% of that county. How fucking big is that county?
St. Joe County is one of the bigger counties in Indiana.
I hate to call you a fucking fat Amish liar douchebag, but
no, I'm pulling up the election results now. Hold on.
Sucker fucking. Oh, I'm sorry. I wasn't done with the insults. Slaptail, can you please? I'm running out of things to say. Stephen,
hold on. Hold on. I'm pulling it up. Give me a second.
Now, did they think they were voting for some? You don't even use your real fucking name. How do you get on the fucking ballot?
Back then, I was using my birth name still.
Oh, so Dick Sucker.
Okay. That would have got me more votes, probably. But...
You would have. Everybody at Ace Hardware would have been.
Ace Hardware.
Are we still doing dead air?
Hold on, I'm working on it.
All 11,000 people.
I'm looking it up. Talk amongst yourselves. Talk amongst yourselves while I look this up.
Well, I would try to talk amongst myself, but you kept interrupting me. If we could get anybody who voted for Stephen to call in right now, 631-496-6464. If you're out there listening and
don't call in because you'll change everything. As soon as the phone rings, Matt will change color. The audio will go crazy. We can't take calls yet.
And that would be bad? In what way?
I'm just saying we can't take calls. Do not call in.
Google Voice said I have to start using the fucking number or they're going to take it away from me and then I'll have to sign up all over again. Yeah. You got to use it or we'll take it away from you. It's all right. Well, I tried using it. It didn't work right. I'm still experimenting with it. StreamYard. If you are listening, and I know you're not, but you gotta incorporate a easy way for us to take phone calls on this shit. That it's just not like all this complicated where I have to use loop back or any of the. Oh, Stephen disappeared. June 11th, 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. Stephen, where are you? Where it's $5 tomorrow night? Stephen.
Visions Event Hall.
Bigger the better.
Fort Wayne, Indiana, $5 cover.
I don't know. You're pretty big.
And
I thought he said the Visions of Veterans. What did you say?
I thought you said the bigger or better.
What's the name of the place, Stephen? What is it?
He's not listening to you.
Visions Event Center. Visions Event Center.
Visions Event
Boy, oh boy.
Okay, fine.
That's a terrible
Don't
show.
tell us. We don't give a shit.
So
what do you mean? Can you guys not hear me?
No, I'm just.
It's that you have to take the cock out of your mouth before you start spit the cum out, and then say it. So I don't know if you guys know this about this show, but on Friday, I think it was Friday, we had Jackie Martling on. Do you remember Jackie Martling?
Wait a minute. Let me check my notes. Yeah, he laughed at one of Stephen's jokes, or he giggled, and Stephen went, "I'm all wet inside." I remember that.
Yeah, so he talked about this joke that caused controversy about the Selena thing. As they walked by the coffin, they were all so hungry they took a bite of it. I posted that on the Howard Stern group. Boy, the Howard Stern people just they're really angry. I mean, this is.
Are they angry with the joke, or they angry that you posted it, or
they're angry that I posted it in their special Howard Stern clips and all this stuff? That this is not from the Stern show. This is from your shitty show. But I would have thought it's relevant. He's talking about the Howard Stern show, and he's talking about if anybody remembers that joke, he could look it up and find it. And all that stuff. So I thought it would be helpful in locating the date or about the time, so we could actually get the clip. Now,
I could have narrowed it down for him. Because it obviously happened after she died, and I could have just told him that date. I had the date pulled up right then and there.
Did she die like the late 80s, early 90s? When did she die?
I don't know. I had the date right then because remember I looked it up because she was murdered.
Yeah, so he wasn't saying it as she died. I think this was when at the funeral, like a couple of weeks later. But yeah, it'll give you the neighborhood where he could.
Right, and I was ready to do that, but so what can I tell you?
What was Stephen doing again? That is, he's taking all this time to do it.
I don't know. Either he's looking for the election results, so he can.
I'm looking for the election results. It's just from 2016. It's harder to find. I'm looking for it. Oh, here it is, right here.
Mandela effect. It never happened. So now
I want it right here.
Oh, okay.
I got it.
All right, we don't care about it anymore. We've moved on.
Oh no, I lied. It was 2,000 votes, 2,300, 6.71%.
That's a big lie. You lied about 9,000 fucking people.
Well, no, got the percentage right.
No, it peaked. It peaked at 11, but as it went on, it dropped down to about 7, almost 7.
Now, this is something I'm curious about. Yesterday, I posted a reel from the Jackie thing, and within like 20 minutes, it had like 3,000 views on it, and then I went back and it had 400 views. What happened to those 2,600 views? How do people take away
no
views?
fucking idea how that works, because I've watched that with some of the stuff that I've done, and the numbers of views go up and down. And I don't know if it's like bots. They went through and said, well, these were bots, and they got rid of them.
Yeah, but bots. Yeah, I don't pay for bots. I never have done the bot. So bots you'd have to pay for, right?
I don't know. I don't know the answer to that.
What are you doing, Steven? You're showing us shit that we can't see. It's too small. We listen. We'll just say we believe you, even though we don't. You can't see that fucking shit. Come on, it's nonsense. It's nonsense.
County Commissioner, 3rd District, and okay, he ran as a libtard. What's the LIB short for it? Oh, libertarian. I thought that was libtard.
Yeah, it is.
Okay.
But I prevented more than 50% for anybody though. Prevented a majority vote.
We don't care about that. We've moved on. Now Jackie said, "Come to my house and I'll fill up your trunk." Right, with the weed.
Right. He did say that, and that's what I said. And I will take him up on it.
Let me just tell you, I got this weed from Jackie 6 years ago, and I still haven't.
6 years ago.
6 years ago, I still have.
Oh my god!
That much in the bag, and I haven't touched it. That should give you some indication of.
Yeah, you're buying mutant white weed. Makes everything look bad.
That's not a bad point, but I mean, for me to keep anything around for, why am I even keeping it?
See, I have a different purpose. See, because I would never smoke all that much weed either, but I could use it to bribe other comedians to like me.
I think they would hate you. Like, what did why did you give me your fucking dirty socks?
This from when you were in high school? This is gross.
Yeah, homegrown is really difficult. People, and this is why I brought up the cultivating thing, because he just hangs it in his attic, and it gets hot up there, and it dries out upside down. But in order to get weed that really tastes good and smells good, you have to cultivate it right, and there's a whole process for that. That most people who grow weed don't even come close to doing that part of it right. You don't get those buds.
Steven, have you noticed that ever since Matt started Weed World, he's gotten more critical about other people's attempts to grow weed?
It's I know. He's
like, you're doing it wrong. I'm an expert now.
If it's not Puspatuck, it ain't right.
Right.
I'm not saying that's a fair point, but I'm not saying I could grow weed. I have.
I know you.
Bougie ass weed smoker.
You're not saying that you can grow it. You're saying that I can tell you how to grow it better.
No, I'm not saying that. I'm saying don't bother growing it. I'm saying buy it. Go buy it from a professional, somebody who knows how to fucking grow good weed. Pay a little more.
Oh, you're on the tape. He's on the Puspatuck tip.
I wish. Put me on the tape.
He's on the Puspatuck tip.
All I'm saying is don't trust Patty. First of all, don't fucking trust Patty, because Patty will steer you wrong. Her Patty's favorite. Nah, it's not my favorite. I want the white weed, and the white weed is for passengers loading and unloading.
So everybody, when you're listening to Matt talk about weed, know that he's on the Puspatuck tit, and he's been bought and paid for. He's been bought and paid for by the Puspatuck man.
I have not, but I would like to be. I would definitely like to be paid for by the Puspatuck.
Fucking sell out.
Sell out. No, to me. Oh yeah, sell out.
I don't mind
for weed. All right.
You're not just sell out wannabe. I'm a sellout wannabe. If somebody would offer me something,
that sounds like something that sold out would say. I'm not sold out yet. So keep buying.
Whoa.
Yeah, send me. I'm fucking cheap. One bud is all it will take to buy my my loyalty. And what do you
Matt? On X, there's if you go on the desktop version, there's a little Grok button that'll give you a profile summary of who the person is, and I clicked on yours. It says Matt Napo, a sharp-witted podcaster, hosts Coffee with the Dog, diving into comedy, music, and bold takes on culture, always ready to challenge the status quo with humor. Matt's been painting with kids, sharing comedy clips, and slamming political figures with sharp wit on X. And then the quote.
That's new. Painting with kids. That's like up to date. How did
and then it says Mind Dog, and then the one post that it quotes you on is Mind Dog appears in the sky above Turkey while eating a turkey sandwich. My time has come.
In the skies above Turkey while eating a turkey sandwich?
My time.
Who the fuck made that quote? I've never heard that one before. I don't mind it.
This is your post.
Oh no, I never posted that.
Yes, you did. I remember it. It was a picture of you. It was a picture of your face in the clouds.
Could you forward it to me? Because or tag me in it. I
don't understand. What is now? This is an AI.
Oh, here, hold on. Let me share because it's
generated. Is this AI doing this for X?
AI definitely went out to the internet and found this information.
I'll show. See, look. I did this. So I went here, click this button right here, profile summary.
Yeah, I got to say, I look pretty fucking handsome right there.
It's definitely AI.
Then it loads up, and then it gives a brief.
Looks like Grok is tongue tied. Grok, go fuck yourself.
He is. He's stage fright. He's got stage fright.
Now, does it only do it for blue check members, or will it do it for like anybody?
I think it will do anybody. It's like your wife. It'll do anybody. I'm sorry.
Do you have a blue check, GD?
I don't know, because I did not do a blue check.
If Carol is listening, I apologize for that. It's just I have no filter.
There it goes.
We think I can read that. Matt Napo is blah blah blah. Matt now.
It changed the quote now. It's pulling different posts.
What does it say here? Today is Tommy Chong's 86th.
This one says this one. It changed it now.
That's definitely a Matt Napo quote. Tommy Chong's birthday was 2 weeks ago. He turned 87. But I don't remember ever saying the thing about the. Listen, I could have been fucking stoned out of my mind when I was talking about turkey. It doesn't surprise me that I would talk about turkeys, but the country of Turkey is a whole other.
I'm gonna pull up the post because it's. I remember that one.
So let me just remind you guys that we are on episode 906 of Coffee with the Dog. It will be how many weeks? 10 weeks now, or maybe. What is it? How many weeks?
We did what? 906 episodes in 10 weeks.
Well, yeah. No, I'm wondering how long it's going to take. When is the date for the 1000th show? Because we should do something. If we're still doing this, 94 shows from now, which they go by pretty quick. When is that date? When does it come up to the 1000th show? We should do something. Don't you think 1000 is a good number to do something special? I don't know. Maybe
so.
We have to calculate 100 business days because it's Monday through Friday. 100 business days from today? Yeah. Is that what you're saying?
That's like 20 weeks, right? That's a long time.
Yeah, it is 20 weeks.
I don't think, because it seemed that's about right, though, right? I don't know. I thought it would go by quicker than that because when we get more than 100, whatever. So I'm thinking the idea is to try to get as many high-profile guests as we've had. Not that we've had many super high-profile guests, but get them all to come on for the 1000th episode show, and then blow the fucking world up and watch the atom bombs go off, just like fireworks. Yeah. Do it. All right, so Stephen, get on that. It's you're the producer for that. I need you to call Tommy. Call Tommy Chong. Call Paul Pavenda. Call Doug Stanhope. Call Kelly Carlin. Call Matt Knudsen.
You have their contact info?
Oh, I got to look it all up for you. No, I do have it. I have it. Yes.
If you send it to me, I will.
Andy Andrews. Andy's got to be on. Andy is like my favorite guest of all time. He's my Bill Murray. Remember Bill Murray?
Well, let's figure out the date. Figure out the date that it'll land on, and then if you send me the contact info, I'll put together an email and call and reach out to everybody and see.
All right, so I got to do math. 94. Well, I'll figure it out. So yeah, I will figure out when it's going to be, and then we'll figure out how.
Yeah.
You're not a very good producer. You're more a guy. Well, you don't follow through. That's what I'm just going to say. You didn't follow through on Bill Rhodes until, oh yeah, is Bill Rhodes going to be on tomorrow? I think so. I was like, hey,
I followed up with him and everything.
3 days later, when I reminded you, but it slipped your mind. You were like, I'm not following up. I don't know. I
was in his inbox. I was in his inbox the night before and that morning, but we didn't know if we were having a show. And then you said no show, and then we ended up having a show. So I had to make sure he was still available.
No, I'm talking Sunday night before the no-show stuff happened. Sunday night, you said,
no, I reached out to him Friday.
I think so. Let me check really quick.
Yeah, Friday he confirmed.
Totally forgot. It just,
I did not forget. No, I was Matt. No, completely wrong on this. Completely wrong. I was in his inbox Friday, and then I followed up with him Sunday. And then Monday morning we had the issue, and then I decided to double check.
I'm at his hardware right now. Let me.
I did not have his Prince Albert in my mouth.
All right. I'm sorry. I apologize to anybody who listens to this program. Again, I apologize for being born.
Almost 1,000 episodes of all this awesomeness.
Yeah, we do have one comedian scheduled this week. What's his name? Matthew Blevins. Have you heard of him? He's for Friday. Comedian scheduled for. But other than that, that's the only. Who cares about comedy, right? You care about comedy? Fuck comedy.
Yes.
We don't need comedy, do we? We could get rid of it. We could. That could be the first thing on our disposable list. Comedy. Who needs it? We don't need it. You need it. All right. What is GD doing? He's looking up something.
I'm trying to calculate 100 business days from today.
See now,
not 100 though, is it? It's 90.
94.
94.
No, what is today? 907. What is today? It's
906. 906.
Yeah, so 94, right? We got 3 this week. That brings us to 9,909. So then 81 more. 81 more. That's 4 times 20 is right?
According to this, it would be Monday, October 20th.
Monday, October 20th. Ooh.
Now I will double check that with longhand when we actually just go through.
I don't think I'm going to be alive then. It's too far away. I don't think I'm going to live to October 20th. Am I? Do you think I am?
Probably.
It's maybe go to betanything.com/EU and bet on that. Will Matt live to October 20th to see? That sounds like it should be like a final show too. We should just have a big brouhaha and then what's this Gmail? Who's fucking with my Gmail now? So yeah.
Oh shit! Oh my butt! Good God! I gotta get me a chair. I have to get me a chair. My wife has been trying to get me to get a chair, and I won't get one because, first of all, it would probably be on wheels. It would have to be on wheels, which means I have to put something on my floor to protect my floor from the wheels.
Well, I think when you buy a chair like this, it comes with that little anti-magnetic fucking mat that you put underneath there. Why is your back hurt? What is the problem? Is you hemorrhoids?
It's fine while I'm sitting. It's just it's like getting high while you're sitting, and then you go to stand up. You're like, oh fuck.
I have no fucking idea what that's like, GD, you piece of shit.
That's what it's like.
I think
sitting on a drum stool. That's what's like sitting on a drum stool for 2 hours, and then all of a sudden you go to stand up. You're like, oh fuck, that hurts.
Do you have hemorrhoids?
No.
I used to have hemorrhoids, but I got them licked. Is that a dirty crack? It's tasteless. It's a tasteless joke.
No, it's not a tasteless. If you've ever licked the hemorrhoids, it is not a tasteless joke.
Wow.
I'm doing something. I'm not plugging this. I'm just stating this because I'm after I do Elizabeth's podcast. She and I are going to go to an open mic.
Oh, wait, you're doing Elizabeth's podcast? This is the first I'm hearing of this. So you're doing a podcast with Queen Elizabeth Croydon?
Yeah.
How come I haven't heard about it before? You haven't even mentioned it yet. Not once.
I should have. My fault. I should have mentioned it earlier.
You should have started the show with something like that.
Yeah, I should have started the show with it. I apologize. So, and after that, Elizabeth and I are going to go hang out at an open mic. I don't like to do open mics because being a storyteller, they say, well, you get 4 minutes or whatever, blah blah blah, 5 minutes, and it's not enough time for me,
Yeah.
And I mean,
Not
my
enough
first
time for you to even say hi. My name is GD
right.
Fenn.
I mean, my first year of doing comedy. Well, I should say the first year and a half of doing comedy, up until I did my 90-minute show. I was, I got to do like a bunch of, 5 minutes here, 7 minutes there, 10 minutes there. And because I was working on a 90-minute show, it was like I was like working on it in chunks, in 5-minute chunks. And then I had to put the whole thing, rehearse it in chunks, and then put the whole thing together. And I don't want to do that anymore. Never again. As we say as my people say, never again.
Never again.
Never again. But because Liz was Liz says, let's hang out and go to an open mic. My point is that I they do it by email. Then they have a lot of conditions that you can't tell this kind of joke, you can't tell that kind of joke. You have to punch up, you can't punch down. You cannot mock a group that you're not part of that group. And I'm like, really?
Nobody ever punches even, right? Punched even. Like
I do. I punch at other handicapped people.
All right. Now, how do they determine whether that was a punch up or a punch down?
I think they're guidelines. I don't think they like yell at you. I don't know. I mean, not only that, but once you've said it, it's out there. It's not like you want to say, Your Honor, I want that joke stricken from the record. The audience, then somebody goes, the audience will be instructed to ignore that last joke.
And then, like, what joke? Was that a joke? Did somebody tell a joke? I didn't hear.
Right.
Joke?
So it's not like they can take it back. It's not like there's some kind of judge that would say the audience will disregard that last joke. It's once you say it, it's out there. What they do is if you violate their rules, you can't come back for at least a month or 2 months or something.
Thank you. I'm going to violate every rule possible. I'll just get the whole year out of the way now.
Now, the only other thing is that sometimes there's a guy who runs shows, but clean shows. They will book Sandy and Walt have connections where they will book people onto clean shows. And I know that because I did a clean set auditioning for this guy, but apparently I wasn't clean enough. And so fuck him.
Patty's favorite. Patty needs a smack in the ass. Just favorite of hers.
All right.
Right? You got that?
Sure.
Patty's favorite. Yeah, so I don't know. I just listening to you talk make me think I need to get stoned. Well, Elizabeth hasn't invited me to go do it. I wouldn't do a fucking open mic if you fucking gave me like a massive blowjob that I just came for all the way to China.
Okay.
I wouldn't do an open mic. Not any kind of open.
The open mic is at the place that when I ask people the best smelling and the worst smelling place they've ever performed comedy, this is the place that I say is the best smelling place I've ever performed comedy. That's
there was a war I started on Facebook. Oh, it's got to be 15 years now. There was a place on Long Island called Jugs and Strokers. It was mostly a biker bar, and a lot of people played there. Yeah, mostly. But there were some people who they had bands there every night, and the people kept saying, "You got to play Jugs and Strokers." Like, I don't want to play that place. I've been in there once. We went there to meet a celebrity, believe it or not, and. Well, even that in my 5 minutes in there, the place smelled like piss and stale beer. And somebody, oh no, you know, no, I know what piss smells like. This fucking place. This place.
I'm a connoisseur.
If you've ever been to
the vintage, the year,
yeah, like a locker room for like high school athletes or something, you're just like, oh my god, man, they fucking anybody flush in here ever? It smelled like that, and but every band that had ever played there was arguing with me. No, it's just stale beer. Well, stale beer is bad enough. You walk into a place, fucking clean the fucking beer out. If it smells it reeks like stale beer, you don't want to be in there. But it also was mixed with piss. I mean, you could tell. Like people were the bathrooms were just too crowded, so I'm just gonna pee in over here in the garbage can or something.
Or on the rug.
Yeah, it was terrible. So, and then they booked us a gig there, and I was like, oh, now I got to fucking play in this fucking. And then, right, like 2 weeks after we played, it closed down. But I started a whole war. People were just angry at me for being critical of a place that smelled bad. I don't want to play in a place that smells bad. I think I've earned, if nothing else in my show business career, I've earned the right to say that place is too stinky for me to play. I'd rather opt out. But no, I don't get that privilege. Another place on the Nautical Mile, used to get this fucking sewage smell coming in off the fucking bay that was just fucking brutal. And like, you can't play it. If it smells like fucking rotten seaweed and shit, you can't be entertaining in that. People trying to dance, people actually ordering food with that fucking stinky smell in the room. Like, come on, man.
That's nasty as fuck, dude.
Yeah. I mean, it's funny. There's some places that I've performed that generally I check places out before I go there. I want to see the stage. I want to know what material I want to know material, how I have to adjust any material.
I got to bring a gas mask or whatever because it stinks too bad.
And in some places I'll go, and my wife said, "Do you want me to come?" And I'll go like, "No, because you'll be miserable."
Yeah.
No, you want me to be? I said, "No." You won't want to eat the food. You won't want. You'll take one whiff and go like, "I can't." No.
And
I
also
can't
the comedian is unbearable. I mean, if you get I'm sorry. I'm not a comedian. I'm a human.
Just so you know, I am my wife's favorite humorist. I am her second favorite comedian.
Oh.
I like it when I say that, but but her favorite comedian is Dave Attell. Okay, and I know that. I know her favorite comedian, and it's like he can do no wrong except for smoke. Other than smoking, he can do no wrong.
Well, I think I don't want to speak at his school. I thought maybe I'm wrong about this. I thought Dave might have quit smoking. Listen, last time I saw him, I was really excited to go see him. It was right at a time he put a new special. I was pretty disappointed. I mean, I love Dave Attell. I love Dave Attell, but the last time I saw him at Governor's, first of all, there were way too many comics on the bill. There were like, I think 6 people who had performed before him, if you count the host. It's just too many. Too many.
Yeah, I told my wife that I think he's at the point where he's a name draw and he gets the money, but he doesn't. I don't think he has the stamina or the material to keep going like this. I think he's just, I think he's just making appearances now.
And this was, if you saw the special, he ran out of time on the special. He had 10 minutes to go, and he said, "I'm just going to play Hot Cross Buns."
Yes, yeah.
That's when it was. It's just like, come on, Dave, you're better than this. I mean, if you're going to do the Hot Cross Bun things on a recorded, that should take 30 seconds. That's not a 10-minute bit to kill out. So I mean, but I love Dave. Hopefully he rebounds and finds some new energy now that he maybe artificially is not smoking, or maybe I just made that up.
Well, that's the only thing. That's the only thing I think that she did not like about him was the fact that he smoked. And she hates the smell of cigarette smoke. As a matter of fact, when we went to go see him, I could have gotten her to meet him, but she didn't want to smell him. She said it would just ruin it. If I smelled him, it would ruin it.
I say this about Dave Attell that maybe might turn people off to him, but maybe not. If you wanted to find out what Long Island is about, if there's any person who represents Long Island in its truest form, it's Dave Attell. He is the typical guy from Long Island. That's why, to me, I feel like I know him because I know a million of him. Long Island's just filled with guys like that. Now, they're not all as funny as him, but they all have that same exact attitude, the same just demeanor about them. David Tell represents Long Island better than Billy Joel, better than any Pat Benatar, any of these fucking rock stars that came from here. Jerry Seinfeld. If you're gonna pick Long Island, David Tell should be our national bird, or something on our flag, the Long Island flag. Put David Tell's face on there.
He should be at the Hampton Comedy Festival opening for me.
The Hamptons Comedy Festival. What is that? Is there
isn't that what it's called? That thing at the the Hamptons have? Did they do a comedy festival or something?
Yeah, that's what it's called, all right. But
okay,
what is
he should open for me. I think he should open for me.
But what is it? Is the question? Is it because? Geez, I don't know. It seems like only brothers of famous comedians. Jordan Rock is headlining this weekend over out in the Hamptons. Jordan Rock, and then next week we'll have what's Eddie Murphy's Freddie Murphy, not Freddie Murphy, whatever.
Freddie Mercury.
But there's Eddie Murphy's brother,
Charlie Murphy. Is it Charlie Murphy?
Yeah, it is Charlie Murphy. Yeah. So I mean, all these brothers, I can't even believe these guys are headliners.
What you got against the brothers, man? The brothers.
Yeah,
brothers need to work. Brothers got to work.
Brother needs to pay the bill, dog.
That's right. Brothers need money too. What's up with that, man?
That's
what you got against us gingers and brothers?
That's right, man. The brothers ain't working. They're gonna be in the street.
Well, what I've got against gingers, what I've got against gingers is my ball sack, right against their face. But you don't want my brother to host this program. I'll just tell you that. If you think I'm bad.
I thought that was me. I thought I was the brother hosting that when you're not here. I thought I was the brother.
Oh no! As little as I think of you, and as little esteem I hold you in, compared to my brother, you are Prince Albert in a can.
Ew. A PA and a
I know.
I think he just called me a dick piercing. I'm not sure.
In a can.
Listen, look, it's 11:30 already. We're out of time.
Look at the time.
Where's the time go? Just in time to have a Patty's favorite rolled to go out in the rain here. I do.
I have to write a 4-minute bit for tonight. Otherwise,
are you a retard?
Because I don't have a 4-minute bit. I have to write something for 4 minutes.
Why does she have harp music behind? Are you a retard? It's like, are you a retard?
Because she's asking in a sweet way,
James Lackey, did Matt call Kamala a black woman? I did. Why? She's not?
I don't know.
Is she not a black woman?
I don't know.
I think he's like an hour behind. What's up, Steve A? Steve A? You know James Lucky?
Steve O.
My old Verizon boss.
Your old Verizon boss?
Yep.
The guy you told to take this job and shove it?
Well, it was more the district manager, but yeah.
That's the guy that you said wouldn't promote you unless you gave him a blowjob? Is that the guy?
That was a different job.
Well, he's not going to make. You could say anything about him because he's not going to make it to this point in the program. Obviously, he's watching an hour ago or something, or 2 hours ago when we were talking about presidential, and so that's where he is. He's not going to make it.
Maybe.
I forget.
This is live right now, so who knows?
No, but you can watch it. You could be watching live and still think you're watching what's really happening live, and still be like 2 hours
delayed. Yeah, like if you turn, you can, yeah, it could be like.
Why are you stuttering so much?
I bet you James Lackey is still smelling Gwyneth Paltrow's pussy right about now.
We'll find out.
Gwyneth Paltrow's pussy.
James, when you hear this, give us a snapshot of Gwyneth Paltrow's pussy. When you hear this, just right? Is that her? That way, no. If it's an hour behind us, it'll show up in an hour from now. We just have to wait. We just have to sit here and wait an hour.
I don't think Dr. Chanel, I don't think she's going to want to reschedule if she listens to this. Or she better bring us a fucking nice candle. That's all I'm saying.
Okay, I think it's time. We should
Dr. Chanel candle. Dr. Chanel candle. Aromatherapy.
She was going to talk about aromatherapy. I think that's a great aromatherapy. And before when I want my birthday cake to have 65 vagina candles on it, or 66, my next birthday. So if we could get 66 vagina smelling candles on my cake for me to blow out.
Your birthday's gonna smell like a Lockman at YMCA.
I don't. I would want. I will probably get the Gwyneth Paltrow bunt cake. So you just take the hole.
You know,
the middle of the hole of the bunt cake shapes like her vagina.
You know, Steven said YMCA, not YWCA. Why would the Young Men Civics Association smell like vagina? I can see
the Y where you go. The Y has a gym and the pool and locker room.
But it's the YWCA, the Young Women.
Well, because I don't go to the YWCA, I've never smelled it.
Well, Bruce, what is Bruce's last name? I can't fucking think of Bruce's last.
Campbell?
Bruce Dixon. Bruce Dixon. He's the son of a dick. He was a drummer who played with it. Now, the first time he played with us, Mikey told me he met this guy in the hot tub at Lucille Roberts. And I'm like, well, what were you doing at Lucille Roberts? Oh my God, that's my gym. I'm like, this is a women's gym. And you and this guy are getting it on in a fucking hot tub. And he says, oh, I know, I play in a band too. And so you invite him down. BJ is
he's listening live. Or he's only maybe a minute behind us.
I'll keep trying to keep him on your whole love while I'm at wow. So Mikey and Bruce, they met in the Lucille Roberts. Like, this is, if you got guys coming to sign up at a woman's gym, Lucille Roberts, you know, there's something a little wrong. They're either perverts trying to like get dressed in a woman's locker room, or it's just not right. If he said Jack LaLanne, I would have said, okay, that's kind of a faggy little gym, but it's still a man's gym, right? It's a faggy man's gym, but it's not like Gold's Gym. Bring a guy you say you met at Gold's Gym, and now I'm like not worried about him. But a guy you met at Lucille Roberts, I'm sorry. I don't know how we got sidetracked on that.
James Lackey is listening live. He's not watching live.
Right.
I think. Okay.
On that note, I want to talk about, and I know we're over time here, and we need to tell people to go listen to whatever they listen to. Simone Biles and Riley Gaines. You up on this? It's fucking Twitter feud between female athletes and stuff. Riley Gaines came in 5th. A trans person, I think, came in 4th, and she's been complaining about how she lost out to a trans woman. Really a biological male. She's been complaining about that ever since. But listen, you missed out on 4th place. You still didn't even fucking come in the show. You didn't make it in the money. So stop complaining. Even if that guy wasn't, or woman, trans woman, whatever that person wasn't in the race, you would have still been 4th at best. So what the fuck are you complaining about? But she's arguing with this Simone Biles or some Beals or something like that over this whole trans issue, women in sports. And then they're trying to make it about rape. Like because a biological man is in a dressing room with you, you have to fear being raped. Well, how many people in Olympic sports or Olympic level sports have been raped by trans women? 0. Well, then you really have nothing to fear about. This is all fucking paranoia because you see a cock. Just lastly on this, I've been in rooms. I'm not like saying that this is something people should strive to. I've been in rooms in the hair and beauty industry where there's models all over the place, and there's this creepy old looking man over in the corner there with a video camera and photo camera, and they got naked in front of me all the time and didn't think twice about it because they were doing a job and they knew there were people around. They're not going to get raped by the creepy old man. It doesn't happen. It's just a non-entity. You don't have to worry about that happening on the job. And they don't care about it. They never make a fuss about it. And if it was an issue for them, they should have said something then, not wait until after you lose the race to complain about it. Like now it's a concern. If it was a concern, have your principles and say, it's not worth it for me to even compete on the Olympic level. I don't want to, it makes me too uncomfortable. I'm walking off now. Have the balls, if you will, to stand up for it. Don't use it as an excuse later on. So this Riley Gaines person is just a pathetic excuse maker. That's all I want. If anybody wants to comment on that, leave comments on the YouTube. Hate me for it. I don't get the whole. If it's about inequality in competition, Make it about that. But it's not about a rapey thing. Men don't pretend to be women or trans women so they can rape women. Trans women men don't become women so they can rape women. Men are rapey enough as men. Oh, well, it's the easiest way to get into a woman's bathroom. Well, you don't want to fucking rape a woman in a bathroom either. It fucking smells like shit and piss in there, right? And also, the last thing, if you don't know anything about psychology, listen, I don't think a lot of rapey men are saying, here's what I'll do. I'm going to plan it out. I'll put on a dress, make believe I'm a woman, follow women around and make believe I'm a woman and then rape them. It's a compulsive thing. They fucking can't control their urges. It's not like a planned out thing. Now, there are serial rapist murderers who maybe plan out this stuff, but I think the majority of it is a compulsion act. It's not, let me cut my dick off and put on a dress so I can go rape women. That's not, and that's a B for you if you want to take a sound bite. Just that me saying, let me put on a dress and go and cut my dick off so I can go rape women. I'll say one more time. Let me cut my dick off and put on a dress so I can go rape women. That doesn't happen. Forget about it. You're fucking being paranoid. Worry about the guy down the street who's looking at you like Steven. Worry about Steven.
Yeah,
don't worry about trans women. They're not going to rape you. It just doesn't happen. Men don't become women to rape
If I'm
women.
not vaping, I'm raping.
Now, Matt, about 16 hours ago, you posted a picture of a bird on top of a bush, or
it's a songbird.
What's it singing?
It was in my yard. I didn't take the picture. Anthony took the picture. Anthony is my stepdaughter's fiance. He took the picture. I was like, I've never seen one of that looks like a bird that is a domestic bird that people have in a cage in their house. I think that escaped because songbirds are not a natural thing in New York. It gets too cold in winter. They wouldn't survive here. So I'm thinking that escaped from somebody's house. It's just sitting, songbird on top of a bush outside my window, my bedroom window there. It looked nice, but it's not like a wild bird here. We don't have those. I'm hiccuping. Excuse me. You ever remember the concert that Johnny Cash gave, hiccuping throughout the whole thing?
No, I don't remember that concert. I'm not a Johnny Carson. Johnny, which Johnny was it now? Cash?
Johnny Cash, yeah. He was he was doing when we were first starting the band that became the Rockin' 45s, we would give Mikey homework. He would go home and listen to songs and then come and try to do an imitation.
So he learned the song like this.
Yeah,
I hear the train running.
It's rolling around again. Yeah, exactly. We gave him a tape of Johnny Cash doing a live concert where he got the hiccups, and it was I walked the lines. I agree, close eyes on the heart of mine, and Mikey, we were like taking money. I bet you he's gonna fucking come in with the full hiccups and all, and he did. Like this is fucking the guy has no fucking imagination of his own. But lastly, on this fucking rape thing in this woman, I looked it up. How many women actually
instructions on how to do it?
No, how many women lesbians actually rape women, and the number compared to trans women is off the charts. So like women, like five out of 10 rapes, half of the rapes that are committed on women that get reported are by other women, not even by men. But the number of rapes reported by women that are done by trans women, less than 0.5%. I mean, it's really a small number. So if you're going to be worried about men and women raping, actual cis men and cis women, the trans women are your least concern. But those are the ones they're acting like, oh, and if it's about competition, keep it about the competition. Don't invent the rape. Oh, I'm scared of being raped. If you were scared of being raped, you wouldn't wait till you lost a race to complain about it, right? Am I right? Tell me I'm right. So
yeah, I think so.
Well, I think at that point, I think they were complaining just to get attention.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just doing it to get attention. You know.
So fuck Riley Gaines, but don't rape her.
Sometimes it's not even them that initialized that initiated the complaint. Somebody else, with a cause said you were done wrong. and it's I came in 5th place behind three other women. That, if that trans person wasn't anything, I still wouldn't have. I would have come in 4th. Doesn't matter. And so I wouldn't have gotten the medal anyway. So and they go like, no, but you were done. You were wronged. So we're going to give you $1,000. You just be our spokesperson, or you let us use your image. Blah blah blah. You tell the story. Yeah, it's all for attention and to tilt their their cause.
All right, so I want to complain about. I shouldn't. I think GD is a trans black person, and I feel like I could have had a real black person if not he wasn't on here faking his blackness. That's my complaint. And also, I think he's going to rape me.
Well, I don't. I can almost guarantee you I'm not going to rape you.
Right.
And I'm pretty sure. And I'm pretty sure I'm a black man.
I love those almost guarantees. I feel safe.
Yeah. Well,
Leslie, before I tell people to turn on their thing, James, I know what is Kamala? What is this? She's not a black woman. What are you saying? Because I did call her a black woman. Was she something different than that? Is she?
Well, according to the Trump people, she wasn't. According to the Trump people, she just turned black when it was.
James is a Trumper.
Oh,
so that could be why that could be it.
So, but what does that have to do? What is she not?
Kamala's a man.
Whoa!
I don't think so.
I think he's got her mixed up with Michelle Obama.
And the reason I say that is because
Michael Obama.
Very first time I heard Kamala Harris speak, I thought to myself, "Oh my God, it's like being at one of my family reunions. She's like one of my aunts." Even though
she's very aunt feeling for sure.
I'm probably older than she is. It's like listening to one of my aunts. It's like I know this woman. She's like my aunt. I would vote for her, because my aunts. Now I'm not saying that Kamala Harris was like the perfect candidate, but especially if you're talking between Trump and Kamala Harris, which is what the choices were, I know what my aunts are like. They get the job done.
Oh. She's black and South Asian heritage,
right?
According to you look her up.
Well, the South Asian, I thought she was actually like Indian, like Hindu. She could. Well, is that South Asia?
Yeah.
Okay.
So she is at least partially black. From Jamaica to southern. Her roots span the globe, according to Find My Path. I want to still do that 23andMe. I got to do that, or
you got to do it while you would still have some.
I'll put 5 in you.
Now, what do I do? I gotta like swab my mouth or something with it, and
swab your pee hole.
When I got it done, it was just a swab. So you would spit into a tube. You just spit into a tube, 2 tubes, I think it was. Yeah. I think I had to spit into 2 tubes, I think.
All right.
If I remember correctly.
All right, with that, we'll wrap this up. We're almost 3 hours in, and this has just been...
But if you're going to do it, Matt, do it while you still have control over your DNA, because once they sell out, someone else is going to own all the DNA.
All right, fine.
And then next thing you know, you'll be like a murder suspect for a body that they found on, one of the Long Island beaches.
Oh, Rex Heuermann, the suspected, the guy who's being charged with the Gilgo murders, his daughter now says she thinks he might actually be guilty. Now, this is the daughter. This is where it gets fucked up. This is the daughter who was home at the time that him and his wife were having all these orgies with Craigslist hookers and Rudy Giuliani and Al Placa in the Catholic Church was all there. The daughter was present and saw according to they had a torture chamber where they were tying up these women in the house and torturing them in the house. The daughter was there for it. She thinks he might be guilty.
Well, that goes a long way.
Yeah.
Oh man, damn it! I'm so sorry.
Yeah. All right. What, we got to say something? One more thing before we say.
Yeah, okay. First of all, sending out thoughts and prayers, well, thoughts and whatever to Elizabeth Croydon for her mom. Liz is, we can't do our podcast there. Her mom is not well. She's a mess.
She's on meth?
Mess. She's apparently, so I'll say, take care of your mom. Love you.
Well, I hope her mom gets better. Listen, I'm sorry to hear that. So you're not going to go, you've been hyping this thing like it's the fucking Academy Awards.
And it's funny, Stephen, remember I say I hate promoting things that are important to me because something always happens. And I don't like to talk about things before. I'd rather
wish I could use that strategy to get out of things I don't want to do. I just promote the fuck out of them and then they'll get canceled. That's great, but it doesn't work for me like that. That would be great.
That's it.
I should have done that with that.
I'm sending her a message. What is it you want to say to Elizabeth?
Why doesn't she invite? Because I'm much more talented.
I'm talking about her mom. I'm talking about her mom.
Oh, I thought. Why does she invite me on the show? Because I'm much more talented and good looking than you are, and I'm also white, so she could have.
Whoa!
I mean, I'm far superior.
Okay, so what was it? I'm just saying.
I hope her mother. I wish her mother well. And listen, as far as mothers go, I like Elizabeth Croydon's mother better than anybody else's mother.
Well, I'm not typing all that. I only use one finger. I'm going to say,
I like
Matt wishes your mom well.
Right, that's enough. But
okay, I'm not typing all that shit. You have to send her. I mean, you have her number. You can send your own message.
I don't have her number. I don't have her number. I have like.
Oh, okay. It's 301.
Oh.
655. No. No.
Elizabeth's mom, please recover. Please have a full recovery and be well. That's all I'm saying. Okay, Stephen, tell people what they should do. Even this James Lackey fella who you used to work for, you used to work underneath. He used to service your bottom. I mean, you service his. Somebody say something.
Don't forget to turn on your radio and send help.
God's coming for you!
Nation side me.
Are you high right now?
You heard the one about the two bulls? Not yet. Well, these two bulls are sitting on a grassy knoll overlooking a herd of Guernseys. The baby bull says, "Hey, Pop, let's run down. Fuck one of those cows." Papa bull says, "No, son. Let's walk down. Fuck them all."
What's in the box?
me, listen to me now. Listen to me, listen to me, listen to me now. Listen to me, listen to me, listen to me.